What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace to the garden, peace to the rocks, peace to the flowers, peace to everybody that came and tuned into our show today. It is what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Official. It's official. It's official. It's official. Please, I want everybody to understand that this is the greatest show on YouTube forever and ever and ever and ever. We just started out 2.5 weeks ago, up to 600 subscribers. I'm just happy to be here with y'all. Today, we are going to have an amazing show. If you've ever been to one of our shows before, then you know it gets real spicy. It's very informative and entertaining. I want to thank everybody that came out. This is the live stream. So the live stream, you're going to have about 80 to 100 people come in and out of the room. But we have a lot of replay value. So most of the streams that we do get to 1,000 to 2,000 replays or views every night. So I'm just happy that I don't know what I did, I don't know how I did it, but we have impact, and I appreciate y'all for coming through. Before we start the show today, I want to give out a shout out to our sponsors, and our sponsors just happen to be Loving Life Through the Eyes of Travel, my book. Go to Apple iBooks, Kindle, Book Baby, and Amazon. Please go and get it. I appreciate you. For those who don't have it, I suggest that you go to Kindle and Apple iBooks. One, you save money, and two, I get more of a profit. So I need mine. So please go to Apple or Kindle. I love Book Baby and I love Amazon, but we know we want the most money for our products. Also, shout out to my other sponsor. For those who don't know, I rep Ripple. Ripple. Ripple is a plant-based puffer, zero nicotine, zero THC. However, this is something that for those who want to quit smoking or those who just like the aesthetics of smoking, like hookah, this is what it is. It's basically smoking a tea. Nothing but natural extracts. This one just happens to be mango. All right. Please go and support. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed, but I love the aesthetics of smoking. Thank you. Please go and support. Also, look on the bottom where you see my discount code. It's a 15% discount code. Just go to the website, the ripplecode.com, put the Ripple King for King Homeko, the Ripple King, and you will get 15% discount. Shout out to everybody that purchased it already, and we are looking amazing in the streets right now. Amazing. Let me remind you though, we're one of the few shows that get sponsored before we were started. That just shows how much people believe in us. So let's continue to keep up the good work. Without further ado, let me introduce those on the panel tonight. We have special people coming in today. You just gotta stick around for that. Chef, without further ado, introduce yourself and let them know what we do with the rocks and the flowers in the garden. Let them know the whole lingo. Thank you, brother.
What's going on? It's your boy, Chef Shapino. Can you hear me? Switched up the mic setup. So welcome to the garden. If this is your first time here, we're going to talk about two different pieces of the garden, the rocks and the flowers. What are the flowers? Normally I start with the rocks, but we're going to talk about the flowers because they do more. What are the flowers? The flowers are the creatures, the things that breathe air into our community. They utilize photosynthesis to turn light and waste products of breathing into air, which breathes life into us. Within our garden, they're critically important because as we expend our energy and use that air and it becomes a waste product of carbon dioxide, those wonderful flowers recycle that process and do it again and breathe life back into us. So if you want to use the metaphor, sometimes even with everything they do, we still give them our shit and they turn it back into air and they breathe life back into us. So they must be protected. How do we protect them? By virtue of being the rocks. Where do the rocks go in the garden? The rocks sit on the outer perimeter of the garden to protect the precious flowers. So if you decide that you're going to step into the garden, you would have to succumb to the pain of stepping on sharp stones, so there would be no mistake. Rocks also protect the garden from weeding, from the poisons that can, squeeze the precious life out of our flowers. So we remain vigilant as rocks. So there you go, the rocks in the garden, which is part of our True Pill garden, our True Pill community garden.
Talk to us.
Muted.
Talk to Queen Mayette. Talk to us, Queen Mayette. Talk to us.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Oh, well, I am uh, my aunt speaks, and you can find me at my aunt speaks, and I'm all about bringing balance back into our communities, back to planet Earth, so that we can operate in true and manifest what is needed back into our communities. So, peace and love, family.
Peace and love. And she's necessary today because one of the topics that we have today is going to require her to school a lot of people in how to get their physical pH balance or their spiritual pH balance back on point. You will see what I'm talking about a little bit later. Now, without further ado, we have the indestructible, forever radiant E Black, one of the members of the Four Horsemen. Shout out to you. You came back. Talk to us. How you been? How you feeling? And what we gonna expect from you today?
Welcome
Man.
back, family.
Oh yeah. Thanks, y'all, man. You know, I wore a special shirt for y'all. I know y'all was expecting some page, some cool, but I
Like
made, I got me a misunderstood. But y'all see the teddy bear. Y'all see when the teddy bear, it got a dark side to it. So I just want y'all to enjoy the show. I'm proud to be back. You know, shout out to the people that reached out. Shout out to the people who understood. But we're gonna keep it moving. It's gonna be like Mary J. Blige says, no more drama.
That's it. That's it. Shout out to Darrel too. Much love to the Fourth Horseman. Hopefully he jumps in today and gets busy. But we just happy to have everybody back moving on one accord for now. Because things always have a funny way of changing. But let's pray that it doesn't. Because we are on the move. 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 So today I had everything planned out, ready to go. And then all of a sudden, I saw something online, and I wanted to talk about it with everybody. Let me see what y'all think. Um, this was something surprising to me, and I think men go through this a lot. But it was something that I was like, you know what? I need to talk about this because if I don't talk about this, then what happens is I wouldn't be who I am. Men, have you ever had a situation like this before, where you went out with a young lady and all of a sudden she just happened to have her friend with her? And this is a quick question. We're going to move into the topic. And the bill came out. Me, I'll pay for everybody that's at the table, right? But some men feel offended by that you invited a friend without telling me. And no, some men don't want to feel like simps or suckers. So some men would say, no, I'm not paying for her or we'll make a big deal out of it. Fellas, ladies, how do you feel about that? Because I saw something today on Instagram, and this is ridiculous. So basically, a lady was stuck with a $3,100 dinner bill after her blind date refused to pay for the 23 family members she brought along. Wow. Wow. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times when you want to meet a girl, at least if you don't know her, because a lot of times we are meeting women on social media, especially because of COVID and pandemic. A lot of times you meet someone new on social media. So for safety, women say, can I bring a friend? Or can you bring your friend? I bring my friends, or meet us someplace. But when the bill comes out, I know it not as ridiculous as 23 people, but if she has a friend, one or two friends, Chef E Black, would you pay the bill? And have you ever done that before? Brought a friend to a date or a lunch outing for a man you're interested in? I know you're married now, but have you ever done that?
Absolutely not. I don't even think women should be really expecting men to go out on the first date. I mean, go to the park, go skating or something. Because, I mean, some women will just go out just so that they can get a free meal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that sounds planned, like she planned that is out of order, like Natalie says. That is out of order. So no, I've never done that unless it was already planned, unless we already knew like we were going on a double date or something like that. But no, not I've never taken a friend with me. Now I might have had a friend call and be like, get me out of this date, but no, I never had a friend go
Wow.
with me on a date. No.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. When you go out with your husband and you have 3 or 4 of your friends, do you expect him to pay the bill for everyone? Because
No.
I know men that says my wife still to this day expects me to pay for everybody at the table.
No, I mean I've never been in that predicament. Usually we just split the bill or something like that if we're going out with friends. Now there are times that we have offered, like, hey, we'll go ahead and, take, but expecting and doing it is two different things.
Wait,
I,
a lot of women do that. They reach for the purse, and if they get any inside there, it's like, oh, he's a done. I'm not
right.
doing it no more. So, is it one of the things you act like you're reaching for it, or you really gonna go for it?
I have had times where I'm acting like it. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
acting like it.
all right. But that's a test, right? Like, are you
Yeah.
gonna really let me go
hmm
all the way in? All right,
I
chef.
mean, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from the South. We
Right,
expect our men to take care of the bill.
right. Now, I feel the same way, and I'm from New York, so I don't know. Maybe, chef. What do you think?
First things first, disclaimer. Shade room. It's the shade room, right? So, you know, sometimes you're liable to get anything out of them. That's one. But on the other side, a dinner, which encompasses you, your date, plus 23 other people, that's a total of 25 people. I don't think there's enough context in that story there. Now, one of the things that I do if I know I'm going on, say it's a double date or couple's night or whatever, I put in my mindset that I'm going to make sure that I have enough to carry the table,
Right,
plus my extensive wine taste. You know, I have to just make sure I'm not the dude that even if the homies say, "Come on, let's go, come, let's roll," like, nah, man, I'm trying to save right now. Nah, I got you. Nah, I don't trust that. I don't like to be in somebody else's pocket.
right.
So in that situation, you're talking about 25 people. It just seemed that example just seemed so extreme to me, where it's like 25 people. If somebody showed up to a date and it was 25 people, now they said $3,100, right?
Right.
You know,
But I'll ask you a question about what would you do for 2 or 3 people. That's an extreme example. The question was, what would
okay,
you? Yeah.
I like taking lessons in the front end. You know what I mean? If
Hmm.
I have to touch that bill, then I have to touch that bill. But then I know a lot of times when I take L's, you charge it to the game, because I take the L is not just for loss. The L is for lesson. So I'll take the L for $300-400. You get what I'm saying? But then when I'm going to Nurse Red, when I'm going to Chef Danielle, when I'm going to to a multiple Michelin star restaurant, they won't be hearing from me, because I know what they're about.
Okay. Okay. Next, E. What do you think?
When I seen the 3,100 and I did the calculations, I was like, you know what? This could have been really any place because it's about 135 bucks. Might include kids, might say some adults got some drinks, give or take, but about a good 100 bucks each person. So it's pretty much par for the course for a good steakhouse and whatever. So I'm wondering what the situation was. So what I feel is that homeboy probably overtalked his bank, man. He
Right.
probably was. He probably said, "Yeah, we're gonna have a birthday party. It's somebody's birthday. I got it. Don't worry. Put it all on the table." Next thing you know, it's 2,300 people. The 23
But it's a
people.
family members.
Yeah. So
It's a
I'm
family
think
members.
so I'm
So
thinking it's a celebration or some type of.
yeah. But like to get off that story, but if it was family members, she obviously thought he was something worth if she brought her family members, right? I mean, if it was friends, it'd be taking advantage, but you brought your family members and he dropped the ball. So he probably wasn't attracted to her at all. At all. But for me, if you go out like Chef, if you go out with anybody, you're supposed to be able to cover the bill for both of you. Or don't go out. Now, if you have a girl or a lady friend that is persistent in going out and you don't have it on you, and she wants to go out, then she needs to cover it. Because if in times where I know it's like I'm not going out, but she wants to go out, so then, but I don't believe a man should let a woman pay if you have resources. If you have resources, there's people that don't have resources. So I don't want you to overextend yourself. Be honest with her. I don't have it. Just be honest. Me personally, I think if I was married, I'm going to ask Chef this and ask Black this. If I was married as a man, I think my wife would want me to still pay the bill for everybody. What do you think, guys? Is that the
Nah,
case?
my wife ain't that type of wife.
Okay. What type
But
of
I
wife
mean,
is that? What type of wife is that?
but my wife is kind of like, we understand we have some friends that are less fortunate, and we're not gonna upstage the male friends. So we're gonna, you know, come to an agreement early, like, hey, we're inviting you to dinner. So that lets the alleviation of their meal taken. And usually, like I said, I have such a small circle of friends that I understand where they're going, where they're at. So if we're going to dinner, we're inviting you. Look, it's all good, homie. I got you. And he
Right,
understands that if I got you, that means you're not getting the double shot. You might have to drink some Sprite for the rest of the night.
right. Now, me personally, Chef, what do you think? Are you, as a
Now,
husband, are you obligated to pay for your wife's and her friends' dinner when you're there? Are you obligated?
two, no. The other part, context. The person that I choose as my mate, the 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 woman that I or flower I choose to hold court with, there's going to be a certain essence about them, you know, and it's going to not be just based in just a regular typical flow of how this looks or how that looks. There's women that
Put
want
on
to
that stuff.
also protect your wealth. There's women that also want to protect your wealth and say, nah, baby, no, 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 no. She got money. You
Right,
let her pay for that shit
right.
herself. Okay. So remember, we provide protection and provision. But one thing funny with our flowers, the ironic part is part of the provision that they provide us in that quid pro quo is protection as well. Protection of my assets, which is our assets. So my lady went and put me in that position, you know, and I learned about not having to worry about that ego, during college. I dated the daughter of a legendary celebrity, right? And leave it at that. I couldn't do nothing. Me pulling out, it's nothing. It's like, no, just go ahead. It's nothing. So sometimes women understand, and a lot of times it's the way that they think and it's the dynamics of the situation. But if you want to call it a cheat code I use, I'll call it a cheat code. My lady wouldn't put me in that peculiar position because she would be at one with me. So I would know what she knows and vice versa.
Right. Well, me, like I said, I'm going to pay for it, even if she invited me. How do y'all feel about the fact that some women say, if I invited you, I need to pay for it? Is there a rule? Is there rules to dating where it's that, hey, whoever invites who has to pay for it? Or is that once again a move to see if you're a man or not? If you're a man's man? My
No. I don't think that he's under any obligation to pay for that. And like Chef said, he shouldn't even be put in that position. Um, because just like we expect certain things, certain to be protected in a certain way, and everything is not just physical. Um, we should also not expect our men to pay for things, especially if they weren't expecting. And then, a lot of people have things on their mind, like, I'm going out and I'm taking you out, but I'm not planning on taking all your friends out. So,
Right,
or your whole family.
right. E, because I just think like women do take advantage, but not all women. But like Chef says, a woman that cares about you is going to make sure you save as much money as you can because that money goes to her. So
Yeah.
a woman that cares about you and that has any type of long term vision for you, in my opinion, is gonna be like, no, 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 we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Why are you spending on her or all of them? I'm right here. You feel me?
That means she's invested in your purpose
Yeah,
Right.
and,
early.
and that's
Let
how
me
my
ask you a
wife,
question.
and that's my wife. How my wife is. She's not gonna let me get used by people from the outside. So
Okay, let me ask you a question to the fellas. No, actually, Mayette, better question. If you're out with your girls and a man comes and says, you ladies look amazing, absolutely beautiful," and he says, "Let me pay the bill." Are you going to allow him to pay the bill or not?
If it was just me, if he was
Would-
just asking,
no,
if he
no,
was just
okay, two
all
questions.
of us.
If it was
Okay.
just it was just you and a man says you look beautiful, let me just pay the bill. Would you allow
No.
him? If it's a group of friends, would you allow him?
If it's a group of friends, I would allow it. But if it's just me by myself and he's like, because to me, he's expecting something. Like there's some expectations there.
Why?
That's, I mean, I've been in situations where, I mean, in my younger days, he was like, a guy said, "Let me buy you a drink." I was like, "Okay, can I have your number?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to give you my number." So it's like an exchange. It's like almost like an energy exchange. Like if
Right.
I'm doing something for you, I expect something in return.
You get it? You see where I'm
Yeah.
going to, right? You see where I'm
Right.
going right now? Okay, okay. You follow me, work with me. You see where I'm going with this. Chef, have you ever paid for a group of ladies and didn't expect anything in return? A,
Yes,
a random group of ladies who are beautiful and didn't expect anything in return.
yes.
Why did that? Why were you motivated to do so? And have you done it while you're in your committed relationship now?
Nah, what are you trying to get me killed, man? Nah, yo. But listen,
how much did it
well,
cost, Chef?
actually, no, 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 no. Actually, yes. I just thought about it. Yes. So in my job, my 9 to 5 corporate executive, with the amount of people that I lead, there's a, there's a higher percentage of women than there are men. And in Atlanta, we have a lot of wonderful, beautiful flowers that exist there. So there's lunch meetings, there's things that we call team builders that we do. There's going to be situations where I might be hosting multiple people, and a lot of times it may just be 5, 6 women. Now, that's on the professional side. I have female friends, I have sisters, I have aunts. I understand the benefit of holding court with the flowers a long time ago. The person that I'm with was actually a friend. And the virtue of the way the relationship took place, it was a different vibe. You get what I'm saying? But I've had 4 or 5 women where I've paid the bill, you know, and it wasn't an issue. I'm not spending. I'm chef. My culture, breaking bread, is fellowshipping. That's a part of fellowshipping. That's the centerpiece of.
Like
It's
the
like at a wedding table. That's the centerpiece. So if I'm eating good and I'm fellowshipping with you, you're not just getting food. We're sharing soul food. We're breaking bread. We're talking. You know, and that's the thing. So even in my culture, we feed people. You come through, Haitian family, same thing with Ghanaian family, bridal shower, baby shower, everybody's invited. Breaking bread and sharing food is not something that's just a quid pro quo. This is something that we do. There's a term called basa jamba, right? That's an African term, basa jamba. It's just food for life, and food is life. It can be taken both ways. Food and breaking bread is a way of, you know what I mean, of fellowship. And so, yes, it comes with money, but I'm not stepping in that place if I don't have the bag to spend on. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put myself in a dilemma that I can't get out of. So if I'm walking in that place, I know that I gotta solo if I have to.
E.
I pay. You know what? I pay for a lot of my wife's friends' meals. You know, because sometimes it's a cultural exchange. You know, they take care of our kids. Sometimes I'm just a good-hearted dude. You know, like our children will be sharing playtime, and I'll be out and about. Yeah, what you need when I'm coming, come pick y'all up. Y'all want some ribs? Okay, that's fine. I'm
Right.
not gonna have you dig in your purse to get more money
Turn the
after
light
our
on.
kids are exchanging fun and having fun, and you guys are, so I have no problem with paying for anybody in my immediate circles meal. I mean, it's not serious.
Okay, so that the reason why I brought that up is because I want to make segue to what we talked about yesterday in regards to friends and association. Now, I started off with like someone bringing a friend and then men having to pay for your extra friend at the dinner table. Now, I want to talk about association. Association. Do you believe through friendship, only through friendship, do you believe you are who you hang with? Yes or no? Let's go around the panel. And why? Ladies
I'm a
first. Flowers first.
yes. Go ahead.
Yes, I do believe that you are who you hang with. So what happens is that, I mean, going back to that energy, you are going to um uh, that those people that you are tending to hang around, you usually pick up their habits. So a lot of times negative habits, they weigh negative things that you do, they weigh heavier than good habits. So people who, like drink a lot, you might be that one friend who does not drink, but then you see like those other people are drinking a lot, you don't want to feel left out, so you start drinking a lot because they're doing it, and so you start picking up their habits. That's why a lot of times married women sometimes will have a hard time hanging out with single women, because a lot of times there's single women that don't necessarily do the things that you desire to do, because you might have some kids, you're not trying to go out, you're not looking for a man anymore, and so those habits can in turn negatively affect your relationship, because then you're like, well, I want to fit in, so now I'm starting to act like them, I'm going to start thinking like them. So everything, like every part of us is energy, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, all of those things are energy, and then uh, they end up moving on to that other person, because those negative habits and energy are a little bit more heavier than those good habits, or those good thoughts, or those peaceful thoughts.
Right. E.
I'm gonna flip flop on this one because I'm gonna say yes and no, and I hate to be like that, but the reason why is because essentially I hang around a good core group of
Lifestyle.
friends. We
I
have a
like that.
good core group of friends. Some are on the lower end of the economic scale, some are higher above, some are just trying to make it. I don't judge them, but for the most part, the integrity that they have, and there's a consistent theme amongst all of them in regards to our relationship. So, you know, do are they? Do I think they're always good people all the time? No. Do I pick up their habits? Some no. Some I actually don't care what they do as long as they come in my when they come in my space. We conduct ourselves accordingly. Uh, but for the most part, like I said, it's gonna be yes or no and no because I understand the energy thing, but good energy. Sometimes you are such a good person that you extract so much of the good that they leave the bad behind.
Okay.
Sometimes you're the best person in the group, and they'll never cross you.
Chef?
Yeah, I'm parroting E Black, so I guess I'll be giving a little bit more texture to what he's saying, or maybe a little angle of it too, right? It depends on the kind of person that you are. If you're a person that is heavily susceptible to manipulation or negative energy, then you're going to be the person that's going to be susceptible to the negative impacts of what the quote unquote bad apple brings to the table. But what if you are not a bad apple? What if you're not an apple within that dynamic? What if you're an enzyme that's there to detoxify the apples? Sometimes if you change just one person, that impacts a whole nother ecosystem. Who I am, and I'm going to speak for myself, I learn from those that surround me. I learn from my associates. I didn't choose my associates. When I grew up, I didn't choose my associates. I grew up where I grew up, and the people that were there around me were my associates. I was different. I was, early on, young boy, I was a quiet boy, the good guy. But the thing is, when some of my gangster friends at some point had that point when they wanted to be safe and they didn't want to deal with the chase, they wanted to be around me. I was the one where they bared their souls to when they went and do it to the other gangsters. I learned my position and call it my life ministry at some point where I understand I'm able to create change within dynamics, and I recognize that power, and I wield it humbly, but I wield it with conviction and confidence. So them apples are not going to sully the apple that I am, because I'm not a motherfucking apple. I'm an enzyme. And what I'm here is to detoxify the situation. So when you talk to other people, I believe that it all depends on how susceptible they are or absorbent to some of that energy that they can get from other people and what they represent within the dynamic of that relationship.
Me personally, I believe that show me your friends, I show you who you are, based on 1 Corinthians 13. Bad habits. What it says? It says, bad association makes for bad habits. That's what it says, right? I believe that you never see one good fruit turn bad fruits good, but you always see one bad fruit turn all good fruits bad, right? That's how it works. Are you strong enough to have different levels or different section of friends? I believe so. But it will be advantageous for you to have a majority of your friends who are doing better than you. Now, I don't want to deal with the whole morality of it. Do I have good friends or bad friends? I only deal with, do I have friends who are better than me in regards to my life goals? Because if you have friends who are, if you're, like they said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? If you're the richest person in the room, you are in the wrong room, right? If you are the handsomest person in the room, well, I get that a lot, so I don't know. I don't know what room to go to anymore. I'm getting caught up. But at the end of the day, seriously, you really gotta put yourself around people that challenge you, and challenge you not in a way where it encourages healthy growth. I think your association is a big step to you evolving in life. This whole transfer of energy begins with who stands next to you. I always say greatness is proximity. I always say intelligence is proximity. I could know who a person is by saying call 5 people from your phone, and based on my conversation with those 5 people from your phone, I can get a good gauge of who you are as a person. Um, People have a thing of letting go of people because that person, they're used to them. I just hope that people learn how to not worry about being used to somebody, but being around people that are willing to show them new things and expose them. Because with access comes wealth. And I'm not talking about material wealth, but just wealth of knowledge, right? So we as people need to really focus on that. Is it our obligation to pull up our friends if they are not on our level, educationally, mentally, or spiritually? Is it our obligation? If you have more friends that are on your level, above your level, but you have one or two friends that are not, is it your obligation to pull them up? Maya?
I think it's not an obligation. I think it's, if you care about that person, you love that person, then you automatically are going to want to see them do better. You want to see them elevate. You're wanting them to evolve into the greatest version of themselves. But you cannot constantly pull on a person who is not wanting to elevate. Sometimes it may take years for that person to see what you see. So you have to let them evolve at their own time, at their own pace. But at the same time, you give them the information. You can say, here's the information. You can talk to them, you can counsel them. But to actually pull them, constantly be trying to pull, I mean, that's heavy on you. That may weigh you down and pull you back down.
Right. Fellas?
I'm gonna say no because I've had so many of my friends go through different stages of their life. I mean, one of my friends, he used to want to play semi-pro. Then he ended up working at Kroger's. Then he ended up just going off the grid for about a year and a half. But then he came back around, and now he's working at, the the oil fields, and he's making good money, taking care of his family. I didn't help with none of that. All I did was be a friend to him. When he came over, we exchanged cultures with our family. So there's only so much you can do with your friends. And I'm talking about friends, not associates, not people who you look to get things from. I'm talking about friends. Friends that when you're on the side of the road, they're willing to answer the phone call. Friends that when you don't have nowhere to go, they'll open their door. Friends that when you're sad, they'll pick you up. These are friends. Sometimes we get associates and people who are willing to bring us up, but they're mentors. They're in a different realm. They're only willing to go so far. But
Is that your mic?
friend,
E, is that your mic? It's staticky. Is that your mic?
it's static. Yeah, I'm gonna probably. It's probably popping. I moved it. Yeah, it's your friends though.
Okay.
You can't really help your friends.
All right, my brother with the cool shades, one community, the dope shades. Talk to me. How do you feel about that?
Me personally, I think that your friends affect you a lot. Me personally, like growing up in my environment, every time I tried to stop doing things, the best way I stopped it, but was sometimes staying away from some of the environments of the things that I was trying to stop. You know what I mean? So, like it's just like a low vibration. You know what I'm saying? You might be on a high vibration, but just being around a bunch of people with low vibrations is going to bring down your vibration in some sort of form. You know what I mean? Unless you elevate theirs, unless you try to help elevate their vibration, it's going to bring you down subconsciously or consciously. It's going to bring you down. You know what I'm saying? So I think that your company you keep, like my mom used to tell me, friends that carry you, they ain't gonna bring you back and all them things like that. But it's really, really sometimes really true that, yeah, it's really, really true sometimes,
Thank you, brother. Shout out to Crew Season. That's the family. Shout out to them. They run Houston. Point blank. They run Houston. Shout out to Crew Season. Talk to me. Talk to me, Joseph Benjamin. What do you think about association?
I want to echo the same sentiment as Suge Knight over there at the top with the cognac in his hand.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's Chardonnay.
Even better. Got good taste.
That's a fact.
I share the same feelings he has about the situation. I think it depends on the person. If a person knows themselves enough to know that the kind of people that they hang around would influence them heavily, it would be in their best interest to seek out people who would influence them positively. If they know themselves enough to know that they will be influenced and they choose a negative group of people, whether they're doing drugs or running the streets or whatever, then that's on them. Then you have a certain group of people who can have that kind of circle of gang bangers, streetwalkers, or whatever, and be the influencer. It takes a certain kind of person to do that. And for someone to hang around those types of people, like say like a Jesus character, right? He hung around the thieves and the drunkards and that, but he never became those type of people. But someone like that was able to influence the 12 disciples. Very few people are like that.
All right.
If someone knows themselves enough to know that they can handle that kind of energetic pressure, because it is a pressure, you feel it, there's always going to be a pull to do the things that they do. But that person has to be strong enough within themselves and their own character to not fall for what they're doing. If they withstand it long enough, then they can then influence those people around them. It's like a domino effect. I think everyone has different seasons. Sometimes it's best if you're strong in yourself and you just like, okay, I can handle it. And then if you know you can't, it's best to cut those people loose so you can deal with your own internal issues to handle more people. But ultimately, that's the way I feel about it. It's kind of like a, either or situation.
Yeah. Shout out to our boy Sly from Heavily Flawed Individual. Please go and subscribe to his page. His page is The Truth. The Truth. Me and Chef just did an interview this weekend, so go and support his page. Go and subscribe. Thank you very much. Please, let's try to get the subscribers up on this page as well and get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Sly, I hope you got time. You come up here and chop it up real quick. Mr. Hall of Fame, quick, tell me so we can go to the next topic. How you feel about association and how does that reflect on your character?
Most definitely. Thank you for everybody for having me on here. Peace to the panel. Peace to you, King, Chef. D-Black TV, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you as well. Salute to Maricel as well. And yes, I would say that no, it doesn't matter who your friends or even your family is. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what they're really into. You're not with them 24/7, all the time. So you could be into some weirdo stuff. You have no idea. Especially everybody living different type of lifestyles. They want to be called different, verbs and adverbs and all types of stuff and different nouns. So you don't know what a person's into. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing to do is to make sure that you are in tune with yourself. Your energy has to be A1.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then whatever they do is whatever they do. Just make sure that they're not bringing that negativity towards you. If they're bringing that negativity towards you, then they have to go. Point blank, period. You let them know what the situation is. You check it. If they respect it, perfect. If they don't, then they have to go. And it's as simple as that.
Right. Gemini thoughts. What do you think? Gemini thoughts. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I definitely agree that who you are around really does impact you. I used to listen to this motivational speaker, Les Brown, and he stated that his mother told him that if you hang around losers, you will end up a loser. And and that stuck with me. And I noticed, like, in my life, whenever I had the most success, it was only when I was around people that were in proper alignment with myself. However, whenever I hung around family members or, the people that you hold near and dear, so you kind of like overlook some of their ways or whatever, I always find myself morally, and I'm not blaming anyone, I accept full responsibility, but oftentimes I found myself veering away from those things that I hold near and dear. So I think that you as an individual, you have to always be protective over whom you are around.
Right. So let's get spicy right now. I'm gonna get spicy right now. This is what I love to do. So you have a significant other, and everybody has that one friend they know they could get mischievous with, or get crazy with. That one friend that keeps secrets. The one friend you could do things and you know they won't rat on you at all. Your significant other has that friend. You know that person's a bad influence on your significant other. How do you start or initiate a conversation to help that person realize that friend is no good for you? One, community, starting with you.
How do you get that significant other to understand that the friend is no good for them?
Yes.
I would say
Take your time, my brother.
because sometimes I think, remember, they're friends, right? So a lot of times we want to blame one friend.
Right.
So a friend is a dynamic where it's a two thing. And it's a balance to this thing. Like, even if like one of my friends, he was like crazy and I was like kind of calm, like there's a dynamic to the friendship, right? So even your significant other is playing a role in that thing too. So I can't really just blame the friend, because it's something about that connects with your significant other and why she reflects with your significant other, like why she vibe with her or why she rocking with a person like that. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it may be a back and forth between your significant other and the next person as well, right? But sometimes it's hard to tell a person that somebody's not bad for them. I mean, somebody's not good for them, especially when you really love a person. You know what I mean? Let's say she love a homegirl and this and that, or whatever the friend is. I think a lot of times it takes people to go through situations to see it. A lot of times you would tell everything. You know, sometimes people get to learn and could take heed. But a lot of times we all find out after someone ends up doing something to us that we say, damn, man, I should have listened, or damn, I had that gut feeling, or things like that.
Right.
But I think it's things like that though. But I think that if this friend is not so good for your significant other, and your significant other is really around this person a lot, then I think that it's things that you and your relationship is missing something. Then maybe it's some conversation. Maybe it's she can feel more free when
Right.
she's talking with this person. So this person may be a little bit crazier than her, might drink a little bit, may do a little more, you know what I'm saying? Might smoke some cigarettes or something like that. She smokes cigarettes and all that, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
still in all, maybe the way she listens to
Yes.
her. She might be crazy in hell, all that, but the way she really just listens to her, because, you know, some people just gravitate to just the littlest thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's missing in your relationship. You know, and sometimes that's that littlest thing destroys your whole relationship. Like it'll be something like just holding hands or something, and she's walking by just seeing people holding hands, and it's just something that's missing, and it just makes you yearn for that thing that's missing, and you be like, that's not such of a big thing.
Right.
So I think that you might want to look into your own relationship and see if something that is missing, maybe conversation wise or something.
All right. All right. Mayat.
Okay, so I mean that's a tough one. I think it depends on how close you are to your significant other or to your spouse, and if they really take what you say as wise counsel. Because sometimes there are people who are just jealous, like they're jealous of that other person. So if they can trust what you're saying is truth, like they know that you have their best interests at heart, then I think it's easy for them to think twice about the company that they're keeping. But if you're a person that's jealous just for them simplest, like, you know, them going out or, you know, doing anything or even talking, so then, you know, you have to that person would have to probably second guess what you're saying. So I definitely think it has to do with the level of um you know, the how are you in that relationship? Are you really on one accord when it comes to those types of conversation? Is that person looking out for you, or are they just wanting you to themselves? So it definitely depends on the connection that you have with your significant other.
Muted.
Joseph, talk to me. Joseph, talk to me. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a tough one. Well, before we even get to that point, my process is I get to know the woman's friends that I'm even considering talking to or dating before that even gets to that point. So I know the kind of people that she hangs around and who can vouch for her and who I feel like it wouldn't be a bad influence on her because I look at her friends as much as I look at her. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if she took on a friend after the fact, like say after I vetted her friends that were already in place, then and if she happened to be a bad influence on her, I know there's going to be an emotional attachment to that person. So it won't be as simple as, well, I think you should just drop everything, every kind of connection you have with her. I would come at it more empathetically and make a case for it, present, some sort of like, this is why, this is X, this is Y. And so it wouldn't be like a rash decision on my part. I would sit her down and we would go over it. And it also depends on how much the level of respect that she has for me, to listen to my thoughts and listen to my perspective of the situation from the outside, because she is not going to see things that I'm able to see. But at the same time, I might not be able to see things that she's able to see. So I try to look at both sides' perspective, but it has to be a two-way street. She has to look at it from that point of view, as well as me look at it from that point of view. And if we both come to agreement that she decides, she has to come to that conclusion herself. Yes, this person is not for me, versus me saying, I don't want you to be around this person. Because even if she dropped that friend for me, at some point, she may come to resent me. It may show up a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, who knows when. It'll be something underneath hidden. I don't know why she's angry at me all of a sudden. She doesn't really know why she's angry at me. But little do I know, it was years ago. She felt like she got rid of a friend that she still felt was good for her. So she has to make that decision that that friend is not good for her. How I come to that solution, it just depends on the situation and the woman. So that's the way I would approach it.
Gemini thoughts, talk to me.
Okay, so I oftentimes like to figure out the communication style that a person is most receptive to. So I know, like for myself, if you're going to tell me about someone that's very close to me, even if I decided to ignore some of the negative aspects of that person, I like for details, things that can be seen, things that can be proven. So, for an example, like I remember my friend, he used to say, every time I always know who you've been talking to because you behave like this after that phone call. And I was just like, what? Really? Because this particular friend, she was real cool and everything, but that wasn't a behavior pattern that I wanted to adapt to. So as a result, when he said it like that, it made me pay more attention. So it wasn't like he said like, yo, you should get rid of her or anything like that. He said it in a way that forced me to look for the details. So I would recommend that if there's a bad person that's in your friend, significant other space, I suggest like dealing with that in a fashion where they are forced to see it on their own through you, being the puppet master behind the scenes. If y'all can understand what I'm saying.
Good point. Good point.
E Black, talk to me. Thank you.
You know, um, what I would say is this. I have to be my significant other's best friend, and when you become their best friend, they understand the energy that it is in the relationship that you have. So then when somebody else enters that relationship or is in that relationship with you guys, or should I say in the zone, then you can feel the energy between you and your best friend. You can feel when negativity's in there. You can feel when uh, lies, and you can feel when a bad attitude, and you can feel stress. So that makes it easier. If you become your partner's best friend, then anytime there's somebody else that's being introduced to it, then you're able to say, hey, remember when we had the good times? Like Jim and I was saying, sometimes you could say, hey, you're getting a little attitude when you get off her phone with her. So that makes it easier because now I'm your best friend. Now there's a trust. I'm not taking a space from you that you may feel that you have a void for. Bring me most of your energy and we can distribute this energy in a great manner. But the more that you're trying to split needs and wants through other friends, I have a friend now.
Your mic is cracking again. Your mic is cracking again, homie.
I'm sorry, man.
That's
I
okay.
have friends that I have friends that I have football that we watch football with. I can't do that with my wife, but at the same time, I have a good relationship with my wife to where she knows that the friends around me give me a negative spirit. So that's all. I'm gonna try to get this fixed, man. The devil's alive today.
You funny. All right, talk to me, chef.
Yeah, you should have went to the $5 below store. Eat Black, told you. Anyway. Look, what do you represent within that dynamic in terms of answering the question? What do I represent to her? Because I know the way that I move. If you're with me within a long time, a short period of time, there's one thing that you're going to gain is some level of knowledge.
Right.
You're going to learn something.
Right.
You know what I mean? They talk about provider, prophet, priest within the relationship dynamic. And say I be the prophet, say I could be the priest. That's what we're speaking to right now. At that point, if I'm dealing with this person and I'm so entangled, not the other joint, all right? I'm so intertwined within them emotionally and spiritually and all of that, they're going to understand how I feel. I typed something down because there's a lot of us. I didn't want to forget that thought, right? I said that, are you sanctuary to her? If she loves you, she also loves your nature that creates sanctuary for her. As the prophet and priest, she would understand. Now, when I say she would understand, don't take it as if I tell her what to do, cut her off, she's going to understand. No, what I'm saying is that if she understands me and we are so intertwined emotionally, spiritually, physically, she already knows that how I would differ from that person that she's with. She would also understand. Watch this for the fellas. When you got a girl coming to visit you for the first time and you never smash, there's certain homies you're not going to keep around, period. Because you understand, and those are dudes that you would die for, they would die for. You got, you got to keep Ronnie out of here, man. You know how you get. You know that. The sisters, the flowers. When it's time for you to meet a guy for the first time and say you're going to go do a little double date, he's going to bring his friend. Which homegirl you ain't finna bring with you. So we all understand the same way we understand the nature of this person that we learned who we're in a relationship with. Come on, we already done learned them other folks a long time ago. So it's not going to be so much of a man telling you to cut them off. It's just about her wondering, damn, I wonder how long he's going to have a problem with her being around. Because I love him and I'm going to have to cut her ass off.
Right. Listen, so now we're gonna get deep into this because now I had a conversation with my homegirl and she said she had a friend that will only take pictures standing next to her. She had that same friend will also always be around her and ask her for ideas. I don't know if men go through this, but I know women always have that friend that just want to associate with them because that friend makes them look better or make them seen to be better than who they really are in front of the masses. Men, do you have friends that just stand next to you because of who you are, not because they're really cool with you, because you make them look good? Do you have friends like that? And ladies, do you have friends like that that steal your energy without having sex with you? They borrow your energy. They borrow your shine. They borrow your aura just by standing next to you. One community, I know you got a lot of friends like that that borrow your shine, your aura. Talk to me about that. How do you feel about that? And do you actually feel drained?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some people,
And then how do you identify them?
yeah, some people live off of that though. You know what I mean? Some people live off your energy and stuff like that. Me being a creative person, like a creator, sometimes, you know, I used to get sometimes angry at things like that. But I also
Mm,
understood that, you know, when you're able to create in a way, you know what I mean, sometimes it just inspires people, and sometimes people are not as ingenuitive as that. And so that thought is like a dope thought. So it's like they just 9 times out of 10 have to do exactly what you're doing, right? But I do come from a place where having, you know, like sometimes friends, you know, they want to be next to the person that has the light. Like, you know what I mean? Like people have been around me and doing those types of things like that with me. um, but I think those things come from their own insecurities,
mm,
you know, their own insecurities, things that they think that they're missing, things that they feel that they're lacking. You know
right,
what I mean? Because sometimes you do that with the jiggy friend. You know what I mean? You ain't as jiggy, but he the jiggy friend. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you with them, they gonna be chilling. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, you know what I mean? It could just be clothing. It could be just this person's funny. It could be a bunch of things. You know what I mean? But a lot of time people use people for shields.
woof.
You know,
Go ahead.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
people use people for shields, you know what I mean, in multitudes of ways. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, you know, this guy is the funny one, or whatever the case may be. Maybe he could take tensions off of things, and maybe some people be like introverted and they don't be wanting attention so much. So they really hang around this person because this person gets all the attention.
Right.
But they kind of want, but they subconsciously they want the attention though. So it's like a push and a pull. You know what I'm saying? So subconsciously you want it, but you don't. So that's like a thin line between sometimes that being a hater sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it's like you want it, but you don't sometimes. And sometimes we identify that as a person being a hater or a person being certain type of things like a leech. But a lot of times though, we the ones that pacify those a lot of actions with people.
Yes.
People are patternistic. Let's say if I got a friend and we always go out and I just be paying for the food all the time. And then when he come out, he don't really be digging in his pocket because I pay all the time. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes,
Enabling.
yeah, we enable things. You know what I'm saying? We kind of enable the energy too. So we be looking at the friend like they weird, but we be a part of that energy.
Right.
You're
Some
right.
way sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because we can
I've been
alter.
guilty.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of that. You're right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
So here's the thing.
But it's love. It's love.
Yeah.
It's love. It's brotherly love. But the crazy thing is, it's love that actually allows that to happen. You know, sometimes we trying to help the ones that we love, and we don't enable, and we tend to enable them too.
Yeah.
That was a dope. That was a dope connection too. Bro.
Right. So Matt and Gemini thought I know a lot of women go through this. You have a friend that's constantly around you and she doesn't pour into you, but she takes everything from you. Talk
Oh, yeah.
about it. Ladies, talk about it. Talk about it.
I mean, it's because with that energy exchange, someone is usually the giver and someone's the receiver.
Right.
And so it can be, women have a tendency, they want to divulge information, they want to pour, they want to, you know, they whatever they're going through, they want somebody to put that, you know, give that information to, and someone kind of to console them and to comfort them. And so yeah, it can be draining because I had a friend who every time that I got on
I
the
like
phone with
that.
them,
I like that.
they were definitely, you know, pouring their information. And so after you get off the phone with them, and especially if you're spending hours on the phone with them, you are drained. You're like physically and mentally drained. And sometimes it takes you a while to even understand why you're so drained. And then you realize, like, every time I get off the phone with this person, every time I talk to this person, every time I'm in this person's presence, they're kind of going through something. And
Right.
so you realize, like, I'm giving them kind of that power, because they'll even text you and call you and be like, I feel so much better now that after I spoke to you. And then you're like, man, I feel horrible. And so, you're giving them your energy, and then they're receiving it, and then they're feeling good, and then you're feeling bad because you have just received their energy and you have given them your power in essence.
Right. Gemini thoughts?
I've been trying to figure out what angle to tackle this from, because of the simple fact that, okay, let me say it like this: I grew up in the projects, and growing up in the projects, it's really not a lot of great examples before you.
Right.
So for myself, I knew I wanted to do things with my life. So I started attaching myself to men and women, from a friendship standpoint, who I thought were going places. So I don't
Mm.
think I was necessarily an energy vampire, because of some fact that I could offer something as well. But I was definitely, watching them, watching body language, watching communication styles, watching everything, so that I can learn, so I can be able to navigate. And I use those
Wow.
techniques, to get in corporate America, which I got into corporate America when I was 20. And I also got my degrees and everything, which I never thought that would happen, looking at my background. So I did it from that standpoint. Now, on the other side, because I grew up in a household where my mother always talked about, if you gain weight, that's a horrible thing. So fitness was always part of the regimen for me and my sisters, and taking care of yourself. So with that being said, I've always worked out. So I've always had women to latch on to me. Whenever we went out, they wanted to hang with me, whenever we were going to the clubs and things of that nature. Now, I would say in that exchange, it I always felt drained,
Right.
because it was like they were leeching off of me, and they were getting the benefits off of me, and I got nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah. E, talk to us.
Yo, am I better? Am I better? Am I good?
Yeah, you
No, you
sound
can't hear you. Low.
Okay.
Uh, Joseph, when he get his mic correct, you come. Can
Am
you
I
talk for
better?
him right now, Joseph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I like what Mayat said about people being energy vampires.
Hmm.
Um, I, but yeah, we have to be careful of that. But also like to be careful not to be that energy vampire, because I think we've all been that to someone else before. Like we're the ones that say, "Oh, I felt so better at that conversation," and yet the other person on the end of the line is like, "Yeah, well, good for you." And I felt like shit. I gotta go take a nap. Eat me a sandwich or something because I just gave you everything, but you would never know it. So I like to be careful more so about my energy and what
Right.
I give out. So I
Hmm.
try to focus on that. Now, in terms of people around me who I feel like there's a great disparity in energy
Right.
where I'm like way up here and they're down here. I
Right.
just I'm not so I should be kinder when I just cut things short, but I'm pretty abrupt. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to entertain it. So I can be on the phone, I can be in person. I don't care. I've walked away from people. I've cut conversations short. I've slammed the phone. I mean, because I'm not obligated to entertain someone who's gonna bring me down to an energy that I'm not in the mood to entertain. So generally speaking, I keep my friend. We're pretty much even. So if I'm a little there, they're a little bit here, or it's like this. It has to be an equal exchange. So my friendships are largely beneficial for the both of us, right?
Hmm.
So maybe he's giving me an idea to make some money in this area, and maybe a couple of months from now, I'm giving an idea to make money in that area, or maybe we go to a club and I'm his wingman, or maybe he's my wingman. So it's like there's not an unbalance of power. So I like to hang around guys who are, if not my equal, better than me.
Right.
And if they're better than me, then I don't want to be so much lower than them where they can't benefit from the relationship either. So that's how I kind of find that balance and dynamic. So it's a conscious decision that I make, and it works out for me. So I
Right.
keep a lot of good people around me. I don't like hanging around dudes who don't dress well. Like someone like conscious here, like I would hang out with this cat. you know, and you were like, same guys, I walk down the street, hey, come with me, come to the club. I'm like, hey, cool, I'll do that. You know, but I have to dress the part too. I can't be walking around looking like a bum, expecting men who have a certain level of game to be like, well, I want you to hang out with me, and vice versa with me. I can't look at someone and be like, yeah, I want you to hang out with me. It's not going to happen. So it has to be an equal energy level exchange, and I'm aware of that.
So you don't want something parasitic. You want something like a equally exchanged. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that Gemini Thoughts actually gave another perspective of it as being the one that had to be around individuals doing well so she could elevate herself. I respect that.
And usually in those cases, you might have to pay for that. Because if it's like such a disparity in energy, like, for example, you're talking to a multimillionaire and you're like trying to get up to that, you might have to pay for coaching for something like that. You shouldn't expect to get that kind of knowledge and energy for free unless they're really giving it from the kindness of their heart. Usually you're going to pay for that kind of mentorship, for their time, for their energy, because there's such a disparity in terms of where you are and where they are. And people have to be comfortable with that too.
But you know, it's funny.
I think that's fair.
Not to brag, but I've been around millionaires and probably 1 or 2 billionaires in my life, and I didn't have to pay for information. So I always get a little bit wary when I have to pay for information. They usually want to share with you, but you do pay, Joseph, because they're not going to deal with you unless they see something, they see effort. So it might not be a transactional thing, but you have to pay something. So Joseph, you're right, but I don't know if it's transactional. But you are right.
Is it the transaction that they feel good about giving you the information, perhaps? So it's not necessarily monetary, but it's like, well, I know this person is going to take something. It's almost like an ego, maybe. Like, hey, I'm giving this person information. They're going to take it, run with it. They see you in the news, like, yeah, okay.
Right. They see your ambition. They see they see your ambition. They see what's up. But let me ask you a question to the men, to the rocks in the room. Don't men have the uncanny ability to know who's who, or who has what energy, despite how they're dressed, just by mannerisms and just conversation? Like he might come out of the gym, he might not be dressed properly, but by talking to him, you can see certain things.
No, you can't tell by that.
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
You can't tell by that.
By not
there's a lot of fake. There's a lot of fake. No, there's a lot of fake woke people out there, and they dress woke. But there's
not dress, but I'm talking about conversation, mannerisms. Can you think some energy?
Oh yeah,
they'll talk a good game.
Hear me out. It's a mannerism. I didn't say dress. I didn't say dress code. I said mannerisms and language. But your answer might be the same. It might be the same. I just want to know.
Yeah, like I said, there's people who, like I said, they be fake woke. They be talking like they could spit every verse in the Bible, but their soul is dead.
But can't you read that, like energy wise? Can't you read like if a person is kind of faking it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it
depends. If a person's really good with their conversation,
here's the example. For me personally, like I know I come off a little brashness, so people won't know that I went to certain schools, right? But if you have a conversation with me, here's some. I believe people that have the same energy have coded words. For example, if I say, "Hey, where you went to school at?" I went to school in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
That means Harvard.
That's the coded word for Harvard. Because Harvard won't say they went to Harvard because it sounds braggadocious. Oh, you know what? I went to school in Morningside Heights, up in Upper West Side, New York.
Columbia.
So they will never say the school, right? They would never say the school because I'm being braggadocious. I always brag about it here because I don't give a fuck. I like to brag. But if you talk to other of my peers, they won't say that. There's a coded language. Is that coded language? Why can't men and women use coded language to see someone's energy? Why has it be presentation or behavior? Talk to me.
It comes. I think it's based on what part. It's based on the person being the audience and what kind of audience you're receiving. If this was somebody that came from a family that had a high degree of generational wealth, they would be able to see past some of the low-level pantomimes that people that are trying to to assimilate wealth, fake wealth, they'll be able to see through it. The whole dynamic where you talk about you have a billionaire, a millionaire, and three people that may be living below the poverty line, as messed up as it sounds. Who would be the best dressed, right? It depends on who's looking. If you've been around wealth, true wealth, you understand how true wealth moves. If you're attempting to assimilate wealth, then what's going to be important to you are those basic surface degree of assimilation that you're going to see, and that's going to appeal to you. But if you're really about it and you really understand it and been around it, you'll be able to see through it. And that's just from the wealth aspect.
Right. So, like, for example, everybody on this panel, you could tell who is from NYC or who was raised in NYC based on how they talk, and their mannerisms, right? So, like, from one community to chef, you can tell, like, at some point you spend a substantial amount of your time in NYC. You can tell, right? So, with that being said, why can't we tell good people? Does that mean we're not good people?
That's a good question.
Oh, come on, Joseph. Walk with me, Joseph.
That was dirty. That was dirty right there.
Damn. If we can't tell who's good-hearted, does that mean we not around good-hearted people to know the coded language for good-hearted people, the coded language for black militant people?
I think that comes.
Talk to me. Talk to my ass. That second one's for you. Talk to me.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I think it comes down to spirituality.
I think you can. I think the higher you elevate yourself, you definitely can. There are people who are going to come into your presence, and as soon as they come into your presence, you're going to be like, that person's energy is off. So, that person, there's something not quite right about that person. I can't put my finger on it yet, but it's something not quite right. So you definitely, it's about elevating yourself first. Like, we can't be around here judging people and we haven't judged ourselves first, right? We haven't looked inward first. We haven't said, hey, who am I first? And then once we get to know that, and it's not even when you do get to know yourself, it's not about judging people, but it is about understanding if that person is going to be right in your life or not. So it's definitely about elevating yourself to that level so that you are able to look deeper than what is on the surface.
Hanifa says we can tell. We just don't trust ourselves. We ignore our own spirit within exchange for outside voices. E, talk to me. If you're such a good person, why can't you pick good people? Huh? Talk to me, Joseph. Talk to me, Gemini. If you're a good person, I'm from New York. I know when someone's from New York.
Damn, man.
I went to Ivy League. I know when someone went to Ivy League. I'm from Ghana. I barely speak the language, but I know the facial features. I know the manners of somebody from Ghana.
Talk you know what? I'm sorry, E Black. Were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I will say this. Growing up in the hood, you are definitely surrounded around all types of people. So what I noticed with myself when I was trying to veer away from that society, from that energy, I found that I lost touch of those basic instincts. And as a result, what I did was I started allowing, even though my instinct said, no, something is up with this person, whether it's man or woman. Okay. So then I had to start dealing with myself asking. So King, you did pose a good question. Does that mean that we bad people?
Right.
So I started asking myself, why am I even attracting this type of energy? What is it speaking in regards to me? And even though I see that there's something wrong, why do I still want to entertain this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Why do I want to
I think
this?
I think based on how you were raised, a lot of times people leave yourself open, and sometimes other people can see that. and then their energy is attracted to you. You know, you're always
Turn the
like
lights on.
what I always tell people, you know, look at
Turn the
your
lights on.
boyfriend, girlfriends. Why do you keep attracting the same type of person? That's because you're attracting them
Right.
based on your energy.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take it deeper. So I gotta give my smooth brother the hard questions. I want to give him. Let me give my smooth brother the hard questions. So, community, talk to me. I want to ask you a question now.
Okay.
It's gonna be the segue because y'all hitting the points right now.
But
Okay.
even on that one though, just to build on that, you got your question though?
Yeah, the question. No. Go ahead. You say you want to build on that. Build on that.
Just to
I
build on
I know.
That's your question?
Right now, I'm trying to get a question so you and my brother could go at it because I see that the wordsmiths right now.
could
So I'm
go.
trying to set you out right now. But go.
I'm
Build.
saying, how you know I wasn't the smooth brother he was talking about, Ken?
Yo, I ain't know.
I'm saying that's pretty assumptive there. Nah, I'm messing with
But like I'm saying though, I
Shout out to the four horsemen. Shout out to the four horsemen.
Shout out,
Darrel, what up, baby? What up? All right,
Yo.
go ahead. Build on that, and I'm gonna get y'all now. So work with me. All right, I'm gonna get y'all now.
What I'm saying is like this though, right? I
No,
think
like
one of the times why we can't sometimes pick good things sometimes is because people pick things for what they want, what you see. You know what I'm saying? Like we do things based on our paradigms. Like we see the world based on our paradigms. Like if you have voids, all people got to do really is fill the voids and they're good. And a lot of times people are like that, you know what I'm saying? If they're missing conversation and this and that, they might sacrifice the way the person may look as much or something like this, and they'll sacrifice the other things based on the thing that they're really needing sometimes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, you want to add on to that, Chef, before I ask the question?
Nah, I mean, what he's saying, it's true as hell. It's true as hell. It's about what you feel is important to you. And if that person is able to fill the gaps or be the spackle to the holes in your drywall, shit, you know, sometimes that's all we want. Yes. Some people are just willing to have that. You know, somebody that could be with them, that's messed up as it sounds, a warm body or what have you, a companion. But not just that, the fact that they satisfy something that this person lacks. Shit. Yeah, sometimes that's what's important. You know, that's what's important to people. And that's where the companionship piece comes in.
There you go.
Right. And you may be willing to sacrifice.
Go ahead,
you might even know like what that aspect about them that is going to affect you negatively, but because that other thing fills that void or that gap within yourself that you may or may not know about, that is more, it's like you're taking the greater good with the bad. It's like, okay, I know this part about this person, I know it's sketchy, but this part about this person, I feel like I need, I want. I don't know why I do, but I'm going to go down this path anyways. So This is why I think we, you know, so-called good people, because there's always a spectrum, right? We can call ourselves good. Some of us are like Lex Luthor. We don't know, you know, but perception is reality. So we can carry ourselves in a certain way where we are making decisions that might confuse people. You know, kind of like that good girl who chooses the bad boy or the good guy who chooses the bad girl. You know, but there's something about that person that they wanted from that person that other people might not be able to see. And that person who chose that person may not even be able to see. It can take a week to come to that realization, to get that fulfillment, and then choose to close that gap themselves and work on that wound. Or it could take years. You know, they can get in a long-term relationship with this person. It could become toxic. It's a lot of different situations like that. So when I've recognized it, sometimes after the fact, sometimes before the fact, I do my best to try to rectify it, but it's always internal work. I don't attack the person and say, well, this person was bad for me. Because in reality, sometimes that person was actually good for me and exposing things about myself that I may not have wanted to face at that time. So, and they bring that out of me too. You know, like, oh, wow, why was I attracted to this aspect of this person? Why was I attracted to smoking drugs all of a sudden? Why was I attracted to drinking more alcohol and getting drunk on Saturday nights when I didn't used to do it before? What was it about me? So it's less about me looking at the person and saying, oh, I was attracted to that. That's something I always wanted. That was something that was in me to begin with. And that person just brought that out. So that was a good thing, because either I face it head on and decide I'm going to I'm going to cut it out of my life, or I'm going to go down that dark road and just kind of go to my ruin.
Right. All right.
We have to be wary, though. We also have to be wary.
Go ahead. You cook it. Go ahead.
We also have to be wary because there are some flowers that are so amazing that they understand how to move. My daughter asked me today, she said, Daddy, when she came from school, Daddy, you know what we learned today? What kind of plants eat flies? I said, Venus flytrap. Right? And I started thinking, this just made me think about it. Some sisters out there, just like there's men that manipulate. Before you do it, I'm going to do it. Get them lights up. All right.
You already knew.
So, you know, so the same way there's brothers out there that we could call predators, you know, predators that know how to look for a certain thing. They know how to find a certain weakness. They know and understand how to find a particular gap that needs to be filled within that particular pavement or the driveway. They know it, you know, people call that, you know, pimp mentality. It is what it is. But then you may have some sisters that they may cook well, you know, they may be great with the numbers, you know, and whatever. And whatever that little bit that they bring to that man may not necessarily be that they love that man, but they know all they have to do is this and that and satisfy a certain amount of check boxes, and they'll be able to manipulate this, you know, the situation based on what he lacks. So we have to be wary of that as well. You know, I know some brothers that's out there. There's brothers that's out there that's lonely, that work hard. They're good dudes. They may not look like what society says that, you know, a sexy guy is supposed to look like. But these are good dudes. This is the kind of dude that, watch this. When I say this, you understand. This is the kind of dude that I would allow him to date my sister. So when I say that, that means that I am, and there's a very few people that I would ever give that honor to.
Like
and you see that, but they can't get that love. So sometimes what they look for is that companionship. Companionship means everything. We just left it there. We're in the thrust of a potential third wave of a pandemic where they switching names and all of this stuff, man. Companionship is important. And what's going to happen during this time, especially all of the lonely people that were there, you know, that were just stuck watching the internet, not having a warm body, not having somebody to hug them, wipe their face, whatever, wipe their brow. It's going to push certain people into desperate situations where they may get taken advantage of. Real talk.
You know, how come we got to believe that confidence is up though too as well? And a lot of times these people play on the confidence levels. They play on these securities and things like that. That's why we got to be more cautious, men and women. You got to be more cautious in explaining your insecurities sometimes to people, because these are the things that people prey on. They don't want you to be confident. Like sometimes I meet men, these men want to break down on women to seem strong. And I use the words right because they can't be strong. They're trying to seem strong because they know that you so strong. You know what I'm saying? And you know, as soon as you go outside, you be leaving? I'm leaving you right now. As soon as you walk out the door, the next door neighbor said, you leave him? You can come over here and just stay away from him right now.
Right.
Somebody right now. You know what I'm saying? But he got to break you down, and they trying to shatter you down so that at the end of the day now, because this is all narcissisms and these are all things like this, you know what I mean? With these people playing on these types of things. But at the end of the day, they break it down to a point. Now it is the love that you dependent on now. Now it becomes like a need for these things. You see what I'm saying? So it's a process to these things, but it starts with your confidence. Once you got your confidence, like, listen, I already, I know. Yeah, we know. So we always got to be confident. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes with us men, keeping our women, supporting our women, keeping them confident. Even if we have our daughters, instilling that confidence in them, in our sons, of course, but, you know, in the daughters, instilling that confidence, instilling that beauty in them, that nobody got to tell you that, because we always looking for something to validate us. And we do that as a people a lot, because we even do that with the Messiah construct sometimes, that we always waiting for something to save us when we here to save ourselves, man.
Come on.
Listen, your mic wasn't working. Now it's working. Speak your mind, because I'm about to get in. I'm about to go in. Please, I want the brothers to go at it. I want the flowers to go at it. So talk to me.
I mean, like, look, like I said before, your spirit is like covered around you. It's all around you. Everybody can subconsciously see it. And I've always said like this: when you go to the club, every female can feel your aura no matter what you see. Is it good?
Is it popping?
Somebody got a mute.
Is it
Somebody
me?
got a
Is it
mute.
me? No, is it me? Is it popping? I'm hearing popping.
Everybody hit mute. It sounds like a moving mic.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when I go to the club, you know, I know who I'm attracting just by my aura, not by my gear. Is it still popping, y'all?
Nope.
Okay, good, good. Okay, so like I said, a lot of times that's really the basics of life. You go to a meeting, your aura will shine through. You go anywhere you go, your aura will shine through, and people recognize that. And sometimes people are attracted to that, and you want to make sure that you're available to those who are healthy for you, and eliminate those who are detrimental to your growth, and who are, or at least know who how to handle it. Because sometimes you may not even know how to handle your spirit, but you know when you connect with somebody else that when y'all get together, it's on and popping. So that's what it's all about. It's just sometimes it's not as linear, and sometimes it just is linear. So just get with it.
Right. So listen, there was a movie a long time ago called Fallen with Denzel Washington. Who is familiar with that movie? Everybody, press mute. E Black. I still hear the static. There was a
Which movie?
huh? It's called Fallen.
Which movie? Oh, Fallen. Yeah.
Yes, with Denzel Washington. And the movie is essentially about Joseph. Press mute.
Oh my
Press
bad.
mute.
Time
It
is
might
on your
be yours.
side.
It might be yours, Chef. Press mute because of the static. Yeah. So no, it's good. You good. There's a movie called Fallen by Denzel Washington. In this movie, it was basically a demon that traveled from one person to the next person by simply touching. Now we're gonna get real spooky. We're gonna really talk about energy now. We're really gonna talk about energy. We just described the energy transfer through association. You know, when I was younger, some Jah Rastafari, Bobo Ashanti, 12 tribes of Judah used to always say they give a pound like this because there's power in when you touch somebody. I'm not saying demons are traveling, but I'm just saying when you touch people, you don't know, right? Before I ask you the real rabbit hole question, do y'all believe when you touch people, there are not good energy transfers? Yes or no? Real quick, yes or no? Chef,
Yes.
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Joseph, Matt,
Yes.
one,
Yes. Yes.
Gemini.
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, so it's unanimous. So here we go. You surround yourself with one person who you care about and love dearly. And they talk about when you share fluids, you share energy, you start becoming like that person. You sometimes you even start looking like that person. Sometimes you start smelling like that person. You start behaving like that person. You start knowing that person on a level where you could tell what they thinking before they thinking, and you could say the words that come out their mouth before it comes out their mouth. Now we're talking about soul ties. We're going to talk about soul ties, and I want everybody here to be completely transparent with the audience. We have close to 100 people watching. And if you know YouTube like I know YouTube, that 100 is really 150 fluctuating. Right? And the replay value on this every day when I wake up the next day is always at 1,000. So whatever you say will be held against you for the rest of your life. So I want you to be completely transparent. Maricela, put the warning up because it's about to get busy right now. Put the warning up, Maricela. Put the warning up. Put the warning up, Maricela, please. We're going to talk something bigger than synergy. It's bigger than transferring energy. It's bigger than kinetics. We're talking about soul ties. Danger, danger, danger. Be wise with your soul ties. Proceed the energy with caution. We are not responsible for negative energy transfers. We do not promote or condone bullying. I'm going to put up some charts now, and I want y'all to read with me. We're gonna identify 7 signs of soul ties, positive signs. And then we're going to identify 7 negative, a few negative. It's funny because the negative soul tie, to me, I don't think it's never soul tie. I think somebody just got some good dick or good sex. The stuff that comes with negative soul ties, I associate with good sex. I don't think it's soul ties, but you correct me if I'm wrong. So let's go. Let's do this together. Okay. You can read along. You can read along with me. Tell me if y'all see it to the panel and to my beloved garden. Can y'all see it?
Yep.
It says 7 signs you are spiritually connected with someone. 1, your instincts work at their best, and you just know that they are the right one for you. 2, you feel extremely secure, both emotionally and physically. 3, you feel liberated and free around them. 4, you feel you have known them for ages, even if you have met them recently. 5, you trust them blindly. 6, you can communicate even in silence. 7, you have deep and eye-opening conversations with them. Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Definitely.
Before we move on,
Yes.
Yeah.
who doesn't agree?
Yes.
Who doesn't agree? Okay, we're going to move on to the negative ones. Work with me. Work with me. I'm getting better at this, E. Uh-oh. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I was talking too fast.
I'm hook you up, man. I'm show you some stuff.
Thank you, brother. Every time I get good with this, something just really, it just really went crazy. All right, ungodly. Oh God. Every time, I'm getting the right one. Bear with me. I'm sorry for this.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm wondering if that number 7, that one is kind of one of those weird ones.
You have deep and eye-opening conversations with them. You said that one is kind of weird.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. Okay, before we touch on that, let's read the ungodly. Number 1, an ungodly soul tie produces irrational thinking. Irrational means not capable of reasoning, having lost mental clarity, illogical. I just think that's good sex, a good D. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. Number 2, an ungodly soul tie causes a person to evaluate themselves and others according to the previous context. They can't see outside of their relationship or mental paradigm. I just think that's good sex. I could be wrong. I don't know. Number 3, an ungodly soul tie causes a person to shut down emotionally. Oof, I just think somebody's denying me good sex. I could be wrong. I don't know. Bear with me. Number 4, an ungodly soul tie produces an unhealthy, unnatural desire or attraction to people, places, things, even to the person's detriment. Number 5, an ungodly soul tie will cause a lack of judgment and discernment. Whew. And number 6, an ungodly soul tie produces the inability to establish and maintain proper adult relationships. I think that's good D or good sex. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong again. But with that being said,
highly soul tie producers.
with that being said, that's kind of funny because everything I describe, I associate with me getting some good sex, and I can't think straight. Or a girl getting some good D, and they're like, I don't know, I can't stop thinking about him. My thoughts are not. But maybe it's true because every time someone has a certain type of sex, they go kind of crazy. Soul ties. So talk to me. What do you feel about those ungodly traits? Because we agreed on.
Well, technically, if you want to go biblically,
yeah,
soul ties are considered ungodly as they are. Genesis 2:24 and Matthew 22:30. A married couple cannot be joined in the soul. They can be one flesh, but not one soul, right? And then Jesus said something about people. Let me hold on one second. I gotta make sure.
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah. Because I'm quoting the Lord and Creator.
You know, I know.
Boom. All right. Genesis 2:24 says a married couple can become one flesh, not one soul.
Yeah.
And in Matthew 22:30, Jesus said there is no marriage in heaven, which would not be the case if people were joined in their souls. So what he's saying is that type of love is antithetical to exactly what your love for God is. Soul love is something technically within the Bible that should be reserved for your Creator, especially if that person that you're with was built or designed to be your help meet. The stuff you're talking about, all of those pieces, those variables, those I consider coincidental variables based on your level of exposure to the almost 9 billion people population on this planet. If you're limited within your purview, or you're limited within your set of life experience, what you understand, what you see, what's common, what's uncommon, is going to be more pedestrian than somebody that has seen more. I don't want to use the term pedestrian, but it's going to be more common than what other people have seen. I'm a weird dude. In order to vibe with me, there's going to be a certain level of intellect. There's going to be a certain level of street. There's going to be a certain level of, love. And there's going to be a certain level of, I don't give a fuck. And that's the weird creature that I am. And it intertwines itself. I've had that opportunity in my life to meet people that have done that for me and satisfied all of those boxes. But within my pride and my ego and my understanding of how much of the world that I saw, I knew it was going to happen again. Maybe that was to my detriment. Maybe not, because I'm happy right now. So the thing is, it depends, man. It really, really depends. But, as far as a soul tie, when they talk about ungodly, it's already considered ungodly if you go specific to the verbiage within the Bible, but that other stuff is coincidental. Well, I believe it's coincidental kismet, where you just happen to bump into the person that satisfies all of those boxes. Sometimes one person might be 5, another person might be 3, another person might be 6. The thing is, sometimes it depends on how much you're willing to push for before you're satisfied.
Yeah. It's about a lot of things too, though. Yeah. But that connection is just strong, though, sometimes with different people, man. Like, you can just connect on a really, really high level, man. Like, and it's like he said, it just start checking all boxes. It might be psychological. It might just be fun. The conversation just going on. And there's so many different things like that, and I think it's very natural, organic, kind of happens like serendipity sometimes, but a lot of times I think some of those things are shaped by our perceptions too. Like, let's say a person's younger, so we could both be younger and feel that same thing, but we might be young and not understand the love of this, but we might feel that and equate that to being a soulmate. But you could say, a young person, do you really know what love is, though? Come on, man. Y'all young. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you ain't know nothing when I was 25. I didn't even know nothing. So y'all been younger than that. What y'all really know? You know what I'm saying? But, people feel things. So I think that's what a level of understanding of what love is, too. Because sometimes we could just fall for things, or we just want to go for things because of what we want or what we want to see. Because that's how they say, like, love is blind, and what you want to see. Sometimes you can just fall for those things and go for them. Yeah.
But to stick to the topic at hand, is soul ties based on penetration or association? You see how I led y'all up to that?
I think it's
in regards to who you associate with.
I don't think it's
when people talk about soul ties, they think it's solely penetration. So the question to you, one community, everybody else, is soul ties really association? Do association or penetration? What is it?
It depends.
I
I'm gonna
think
just give you the short one.
One
This
at a
is the
time.
short
One
one,
at a time.
Cam.
One at a time.
yeah, chef.
Yeah, I'm gonna just give you the quick one. It all depends what hits harder, your brain or your dick.
But yeah, it depends for me. I think it's the association. You know what I mean? Because I think the association heightens the sex. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Okay. We
physical.
going someplace.
You know what I mean? So I think that the other things heighten sex. You know what I mean? I think the mind and you get into this place, you know what I'm saying? Because the realest women that I meet are the women that are able to take a man's mind off of sex. It's not like she's doing it physical, but she just got so much elements to herself and her being that you might have went there like, yo, I think I'm gonna have some sex, but you go over there and end up talking all day. She like, oh, I'm about to sleep. You know, you'd have been there for hours and was chilling. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think really, really in-depth women, like deep women, they just have those layers to them that they're able to take a man's mind or body off of the sex, even though sometimes a man's body just be always on the sex. You know what I mean? But I think it takes higher things in the spirituality, sometimes consciousness. But I think that those things are the soul ties type of things. It's not so physical because you don't even have to touch this person and you can feel them.
Right. So my question, and that's the highest level of intimacy, being able to feel someone without touching them.
Without touching you.
So, Mayat and Gemini thoughts, as flowers on the panel, what do you feel about energy transfer within a relation, the context of relationships? Is it through association or penetration? And don't say both. I want you to give me the one that you think is more. I got to make it harder for the flowers. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We can't say both.
You guys said which one has more energy transferring ability?
I mean, it definitely depends, but I think for women, it's definitely going to be through association because we don't.
So it's not the man's deed that changes you up. It's the way he moves around you.
Yeah, it's an energy. Yeah, it's an energy transfer. So most women are going to get there mentally first before they get there physically.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to get there physically, we have to get there mentally. So we have already decided that we are connected to that individual that we are wanting to get to physically. And so, I mean, even when you think about like the soul and where the soul is located, the soul is not located in your stomach or in your heart or in your throat. It's really, they have studies that talk about it being in your brain, like those connectors being in your brain. So if that's the case, then it's definitely going to be an association thing first before it is a physical thing. But it's like I can't remember who said it, but it's going to be amplified by the sex because sex is a tool of manifestation. So it is definitely going to be amplified by that. And so you are going to end up being deeply connected more once it's like finishing. It's like creation, right? That's how we even talk about creation. We talk about creation using in most spiritual systems, they talk about creation through the sexual connection of those energies. And so it's going to be amplified. You do the present first, you connect with that person first, and then you get mentally stimulated by that person, and then you get physically stimulated, and then you have the act, and then there you are, your energies are intertwined.
Okay, Gemini, and then Joseph.
Okay, I want to talk with this one right here from two angles, if you don't mind. So I had a scenario. Thank you. I had a scenario where it was this Christian lady. We have been friends for a long time, and she always felt the need to try to convert me because of the simple fact that I've read the Bible and I saw some inconsistencies, and I've read it like twice. And I remember one day she called me up and she said, the Most High want me to give this book to you. So I met up with this woman and sat in her car with her. And next thing you know, like we were talking, but it felt like there was something gnawing in the back of my head, like something was gnawing at my brain and energy. And I started slurring in speech in this car with this woman. And so when I got out the car, because I had to struggle just to get out the car, and she was just talking to me normal. And when I got out the car, I was just like, wow, what is that? What was that? And then I started thinking about all the times that this woman cooked Thanksgiving for me and my family. I started thinking about a variety of things. So energy definitely does, whether this person is a good person or a bad person to transmit. Now, the other side, my best friend, me and him,
Don't like so.
we met at this trip,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking, and we ended up, being together. And we were intimate for like 2 years, and we just couldn't get enough. But we began to notice that it seemed like we wasn't supposed to be doing that. Even though it was very enjoyable, a very great experience, we decided to like back away from that and just start being friends. And we have been friends now we've been knowing each other for 10 years, but we have been friends for 8 years. And this has been like the best time ever. And it's a sexless relationship, but we can talk about everything. So E Black, when you talk about like the deep conversations, we talk about it all. We
Yeah.
talk about the spirit world. We entertain everything. We even entertained that experience about that woman, and what that was gnawing at my brain, what that was that had me slurring that speech. Of course, we were entertaining theories because we really don't know. However, um, I will say this too, but that other side of the list, the dark side of that list, King, that you read,
Right.
when you were reading that, I was thinking that, yeah, I agree with you that that is the byproduct of great sex, but I also think that that's a person that's not really in control of their emotions.
Right.
Yeah, to allow such great sex to have you just be out of control like that and out of your
Mm.
mind like that. That's on another level. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add with that.
Joseph, you've been quiet. Talk to me.
Dang, I like these answers. I don't want to be one of those people that say both, but I would say it would start for me. I think it starts largely by association first, and this is before I became aware that that's what it was first. Because I noticed that when I'm around women that I know I shouldn't be with, it may just lead to sex if I know if I'm around them enough times. If you just surround them, I would never do that woman. But eventually you end up doing something with that woman, then regretting it. So a lot of times before it even gets to that point, because now I'm aware that association is what makes me have a desire to want to go further with that person.
Right.
Same thing with a woman that I then, before it even gets to that point, I'm like, okay, is this the kind of person I want to be around? Not my kind of speed. Then I just keep it moving. So that way I won't have that energetic connection to that person, which can start in the mind, then gets to the heart, and then gets to the dick. So that's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, I got him on that.
Okay.
Most
Back to the
penetration just
original point.
amplifies it.
Back to the
Definitely
original
amplifies
point that I said, the short version. I said that it depends what's hitting harder, the brain or the D.
Right.
But they say
brain
the
or the
little
D.
brain, what they say about the little head, it's the same thing, right?
But it's deeper too, though. It's deeper too, though, because I think that it's really more of association. I think because I think it's more spiritual, man. Because I think that even our physical reality is what we see is like our paradigm. It's like a spiritual
Yes.
thing. You know what I mean? Like even the word was spoke into existence and it created life. And you know what I'm saying? Like that happened. Like cheating starts in the mind. It don't start as a physical act. It starts as a thought in the mind that
Right.
you're missing something, and then it leads you to the actual physical act of the cheating, right? But it's something that's in your mind already. You know what I'm saying? So I think that especially us as neuromelanated people, I think that we are spiritual beings and we're having a physical experience more. You know what I'm saying? I think that we're more spiritual. I think that we've always been a highly spiritual people on the earth.
Right.
I think that we're very spiritual people. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
So I think that we connect on a deeper level like that. Like even like they say sometimes a woman can know when she's gonna have sex with a man if much when she sees him. Then she's like, she
Start from
knows
the
she's
mind first. The mind.
yeah, so it's already a perception. It's already something that happens to the mind. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the dick hit with it, I mean, then that shit start jackpot. I think everything start jackpot, and then the bells start going off. But maybe it's sometimes not that, because it's just the way you feel about a person that makes everything about that person good to you. See what I'm saying? So even though she might have been with a man that was probably more bigger than this guy, but this guy satisfies her because of her love for this guy. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think that whole association is deeper, and I think the association is what keep lasting relationships. You know what I mean? If you want something to last, you need the association. But a lot of time we do the physical because we don't want the responsibility of the real spiritual connection and association, because that comes with the responsibility and the accountability of taking care of the other person that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we
That's why I think a lot of people go around and do the one night stands because it absolves them of having that association.
Yes.
Like you can't have an association before you you just penetrate. You can go. I don't know this person, Adam from Eve. You do what you want to do and keep it moving. But the moment you get that association, I think a lot of men, we know. It's like, okay, I really like this girl. Damn, why did I have to even get to know this girl? I just want to hit it, quit it. But we know that as soon as we go into it, we commit it. So a lot of us, even if we're not aware of it, we're not conscious of it, but we'll say, I'm just going to keep just going through women because I know I don't have to, there's something to me getting to know women that makes me committed to them. So therefore I'm going to avoid getting to know them, the association part, so I can just get to the penetration part.
But Darrel, what do you think, brother? What do you think? Is energy transfer more through association or penetration within relationships? Can you change a woman's mind through your sex game or through your conversation?
Both.
Good question.
Without saying both, you can't say both. You gotta pick one.
If I had to choose one specifically that I can really, I know once I get to this level, right? If I get to this level, the conversation and everything already surpassed already, right? So to me, I would go with the penetration one because from my experiences.
Oh, wow.
I'm about to be super genuine. From my experiences, a woman can have a man that's solid. I'm talking about not a friend, right? Because I want to make this clear. Not a friend, not the old homie or whoever you go talk to. I'm talking about somebody who you find your lover, right? In that position, I believe if the man is not physically capable of pleasing the woman, it's over, no matter what he's talking about. Especially if that's something that's prolonged. Especially if that's something that go on for a year or two, whatever. I don't think that, he can be the smartest dude, the most, charismatic dude, but she's not gonna listen to him. I done been in college with so many dudes who very intelligent guys, right? Good guys, Christians. One of them, his mama is a pastor. Shout out to him. He know who he is. He watching. Couldn't get a girl to do nothing, right? But then one of the things that I used to always have to defend myself on, because guys would say, "Oh my God, why do women keep coming around you? You toxic, you toxic." I'm not toxic. I got better shit than you, fam. They come around and they tell their women about it. So no matter if I'm influencing them at a small scale meaning, hey, everybody come to my party, or you having the party the same night, don't nobody want to come to your party because you the lame dude with the lame D who can't influence nobody. I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in an arena where I'm dating a whole bunch of women that's beyond 40 or something like that. That's, that's enlightened on a different level, or they don't want to do. No, the younger women, they say what they want. And that's the ultimate point I want to get to as far as like intimacy. Be honest about what you want with a woman. Be honest about your intentions from the beginning, right? And everything should be good going forward. I find a lot of guys, they can't influence with the dick, to be honest. I don't know if we can use that word, but they can't influence with the pipe. I'm gonna use that word because the pipe not solid. And then the woman can see through their mentality. They, they be on some hotep shit. They trying to sound smart, but they're not really smart. They trying to give you information, but it's misinformation. They give you information out of emotions, not out of facts, right? All of that ties back to me into how you hold a woman, how you caress a woman, how you able to really please a woman. All of those things, the same energy that I have here and I express every day, women love it because I express it in the bedroom. Shout out to Lady Keisha. I'm gonna say this. Lady Keisha was on my live that one night when all that stuff went down. She said, "Darrel, I absolutely love you because I love your energy, and I feel like any woman would love to be covenanted behind your energy. That same energy, women understand that, damn, he probably bring that fucking energy to the bedroom as well, to the war room, to every fucking place and every entity that he's in. He gonna dominate. So he gonna dominate me just like he dominate the men around him. That's how the women around me usually understand shit. And that's why no matter if I'm taking it the intellectual way or if I gotta put the pipe down, my point gonna get across and everything gonna be solid.
Okay. Okay. Now, fellas, before I ask the flowers on the panel a question, a real question for all those who need to hear it, fellas, what are some of the things you do to transfer energy to your significant other? And what type of energy are you transferring? Like, what are you trying to communicate with her? So we're gonna go deep. Like, what message? Is it things that you do physically, verbally, or emotionally to your significant other that you know you are transferring energy? We're gonna get real spooky right now. One community, lead it off. Lead the charge.
If you said physically, what you said? What was the choice?
The question is, how do you transfer energy to your lady um, when you want to get a point across or a message across or want to change her behavior? You know, there's something, for example, I know me personally, when I'm physically or we're intimate, me and a woman are having sex, somebody has their thing on. When we're physically having sex, I actually talk to them.
Yeah.
I actually have conversations with them.
Yeah.
I actually try to find out deep, dark secrets about them so I know how to change their behavior or let them know I'm there for them. How do you transfer energy or lessons or values through association or penetration? How do you do it?
I think throughout my whole younger life, it's been more like it was physical through penetration, because I think women do, they do rock on that physical clock too. You know what I'm saying? That, sometimes you could be in a little friction and, and you know what I mean? And you get to I get to that conversation at the same damn time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand you. And you talk about the damn thing. And it be like that sometimes with the physicality of something.
Right.
I think women, I think physical can get certain messages across where it just makes a woman kind of relax herself to take in the information.
Right.
As she's taking you in as well. Like, I know I'm tired of this, but like, you know what I'm saying? She might be willing a little bit more to bend a little bit more in the situation. But growing up now a little bit more, trying to converse though, I think conversing and really like trying to connect on an emotional, I think just on an emotional level. I think that gets the point across more with women. Emotional stuff, like if you really just want to sit back and talk, like, what's really going on and different things like that. I think women connect more emotionally, but I've used more physical throughout was growing up through my life. But I'm at a place now where I want to be able to use more like conversation and, you know what I mean, just intimate conversation. Because when we think of intimacy, we always think about sex.
Mm-hmm.
But, intimacy is trust. Intimacy is conversation. You know what I mean? Things like that. Being able to do that too. So I think I'll go with the association through emotion.
Okay. Any other fellas?
About
communication. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I definitely agree with everything bro's saying because a lot of times I find myself, if a woman is real angry to the point where she can't really have a genuine conversation, I'm the kind of guy, I'm really gonna walk away from that. That's not really my arena to play in, right? But what we can do is we can smoke, chill, whatever our vices are, right? Let's get to the bedroom. I'm gonna give you a massage, right? I'm gonna oil you down, right? I'm not gonna go straight into it. That's not nobody's smart role like that, right? We're gonna ease into it. Right? The massage, we're gonna talk during that. You okay? How you feel now? You feel better? You feel like you can talk now? Or you can? Bet. Now that you can talk, let's go ahead and figure out what the fuck was going on with you earlier while you getting this massage, while I'm relaxing you. While we get into that, the foreplay start. That that equals everything else, right? That goes into everything else. By the end of that, she done forgot what the fuck she was mad about. And we done communicated at the same time. You feel me? We done talked and we done did everything else. So now her mind in a real bad place. The only thing that can, go wrong there is if you don't hit a home run.
If you hit the homie, yeah.
You gotta hit a home run.
You gotta hit the homie behind that. Yeah, you gotta do the home run. Yeah.
You gotta hit the home run. You gotta hit the Heisman on her, and then you good. But that's how I feel.
Right. What you gotta say, Chef?
Look, telling you right now, I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal. All right, I ain't write the manual, but hold up. Look, the communication. The kind of creatures that women are, they have the way that their body feels, and then they have the way that they think. But the brain is a more powerful creature, the same as us, right? We get to 95, our testosterone is dropped. The homie downstairs may not work like we might have wanted to work that age, but the brain is still functioning. The brain is a powerful thing. As crazy as it sounds, right? I don't have no issues, right? I'm not gonna go as deep as After Hours Darrel. He, you know what I mean? He needed some slow jam tunes behind him and shit. Slow jam in the instrumental. But for me,
wow.
I want you to say this. And the ladies, the flowers in the garden, you respond. If the mentality, the spirituality, and they connect with you on a psychological level, when they close their eyes, the D feels bigger. When they close their eyes, the D feels bigger. The brain controls everything. The brain controls the cadence of your heartbeat. It controls the cadence of your breath. It controls everything. It's the mainframe. You know what I'm saying? If a man has ever been with a particular woman and they be like, damn, my joint feels like it swelled up more than it did the last time. It's our brain, okay? If we really feeling for the girl so much, more than likely, you're probably going to finish earlier than you would have liked to finish. You get what I'm saying? Because of that soul connection or that connection you have with that person, it's going to happen. It's the ones where you just thought it was going to be a one and done. You like a Superman PRON star. I spelled it wrong on purpose. The thing is, that's the way the brains work. So it always comes back to the brain, man. They can get the D anywhere. They can get D anywhere. But it's this thing here and the way that we connect with them. That actually is the thing that changes the game. You know what I'm saying?
D Black, Joseph.
What I like what everybody was saying, but I would like to say, being a masculine man makes a lot of the lessons get transferred over to a woman. When she acknowledges the things that you've done in life by making clear decisions and by maintaining a frame of masculinity and eye contact and ensuring that you have great safety around her and allowing her to rest in her femininity. You're projecting a message to her that she can rest in that femininity, and as long as she's resting in that femininity, she's feeling safe, and she's then reciprocal to all the things that you need her to do. Then she's able to have good spiritual mindset because now she's in her place in the world that she belongs in. So I would just say, be as masculine, be the man in life, and you'll get anything you want transferred across because that's what God made us for, is to give her femininity.
Perfect. It sounds clear, but it's low. Just to let you know. Okay, next, Joseph.
So my answer would be like a composite of the fellas that just gave their answer. Chef. Yeah, he mentioned that there's a communication involved. I agree, and I actually had a hard time trying to think of what the answer would be because it's not something I consciously think of. There's a communication. I'm not much of a talker. I just kind of, I mean, they kind of come around and I let them do most of the talking. So maybe it's my energy communicating to them. I mean, they come to me and then they want to talk and then they talk themselves into the bedroom more so than me talking them into the bedroom. So if there's communication, it's not so much from my end, it's usually from their end.
It's from
And
you.
I just kind of go with the flow of it. Like I stay out the way and just, they're like, oh, okay, well, let's come over. Okay, I do that. You want to go here? Okay, we'll do that. You want to, okay, that sounds like fun. I'm not thinking nothing about it. Somehow we end up to their place. That's how that usually works. But if I'm like the one that's trying to make things happen or communicate verbally, it doesn't really work. So I think it's and I don't know what it is. It's just, I'm just chilling. I'm just vibing. I'm just getting to know them. I'm not even thinking about sex.
Yeah.
But maybe in their mind, they're feeling it and it's a masculine energies, but I give off perhaps that sexual masculine vibe that they are looking for that doesn't need to be spoken about or said. It can be. And I think there are men who are verbally gifted in that area. I'm not one of them. I've never been that
That's what
smooth
Nas
talker.
said. That's what Nas says. He says, "I don't have any game. Just understand my story." So that's how you are.
That's it.
Right.
I mean, that's why I've always been since high school. I just kind of sit back and chill. Hey, my girlfriend, she want. I'm not gonna say she wants you to do X, Y, Z. I'm like, I just said hi to her. Like I just said what's up. I just gave her a nod. So that's how I do it. Whenever I try to do like the other guys, my friends, they got that verbal game. I'm like, damn, I want to do that. I try to do it. It's like, no, that's not my communication style. It's more just an energetic transfer. So I just focus on working on myself, and I don't think about it that deeply. So your questions is forcing me to think about like, damn, how does this process work? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't understand it sometimes.
Yeah, but you're doing something too because
That's why we call it a rabbit hole.
yeah.
All right. So before we go on, ladies, I'm not gonna let y'all off the hook. We just heard all these men profess the ways they transfer energy or energy gets transferred from them.
Okay, one more thing.
Okay, one more thing, because I want to ask a real deep question. This is why we brought my yacht here.
So the penetration association, I think, is kind of like combined because if you're penetrating them, it doesn't necessarily mean it physically, right? But it starts energetically in some way, shape, or form before you even get to the bedroom. The physical act itself is the physical manifestation of the penetration that happened before you even got to that point. So they're already primed and ready before the physical act, but you've already done the work.
Right.
That's so it's kind of like one and the same to me in my mind.
Right. Yeah. So, Maya, Gemini thoughts. You heard these men tell you how they transfer energy through association and sometimes penetration. But I need you to protect the flowers right now. After these women get with these toxic men on stage that basically just took advantage of them. Joking. How does a woman clear that energy from her womb? Because from what I heard today, the womb is totally different from a woman's views. I don't want to say vagina, right? The womb. How does a woman clear her soul ties, her energy transfer, so she could be a new person or a clear person for her new lover? What are some of the advice? Don't give us all the advice because I want the woman to go to your page and go to your Patreon or hit you up because I know there's steps to clearing that energy so you could find something new. What are some of the steps, Gemini and Mayette? Please let us know. Let us know so we can stop them from doing those steps. Thank you.
All right, so energy cleansing, you have to do it on different levels. So one, you have to understand that as men are usually they're the givers and then the women are the receivers. So you have they're receiving in a whole. So you're receiving energy. So no matter if they have something on or not, you're still receiving that energy in your wound, and that's not going anywhere. It's being pent up and in your womb and around your uterus and around all of those delicate parts. So one thing you have to recognize is who you're giving that to. So a lot of times we're just saying, I find this person attractive or whatever. And so everything that person is doing, so if that person is sexually active, they're extremely sexually active, all those energies that they're having with these different women, whether those women are depressed, whether these women have low confidence, whether these women are dealing with stress or pressures, that's getting, and then also on top of that, is that man dealing with stress? Is he dealing with depression? Is he just trying to release? And all of that is getting pent up inside of you. So in order to release that, first you have to go through, I mean, it's several steps. You have to cleanse your energy field, one. So there's different ways to cleanse your energy field. You can do Reiki. I do Kemetic Reiki. You can, do crystals, you can do herbs and things like that. But also, you have to work on that chakra, that energy center, that sacral, chakra, which is your sex. That's your sexual organs. That's something that you have to really pay attention to and meditate on, because that's where your power is. That's where your manifestation power is. So you have to really recognize, like, am I going to continue to let these different energies? So you have to even recognize if I'm just going to let anybody, in essence, get into my womb and into my area. And then you have to think about also the foods that you're eating, the different foods that you're eating, and how those things are connected. So once you identify that you have this soul tie, these different energies that are there, which King read all of those different ways that you can recognize if those different energies are there, then you have to work on that, which is going to take some time, because you have to recognize that no longer you're not going to continue that cycle. So um so I would say meditation, energy cleansing, and taking different herbs, because that can affect, if you plan on having children in the future, that can definitely affect your children in the future. I don't necessarily believe that DNA is still there, but that energy is still there surrounding your uterus, surrounding those organs, and can ultimately affect your children who are going to be conceived in your womb.
Gemini thoughts?
I agree with what my aunt says. However, I would say do this step first. First, be accountable. So if you attracted a toxic guy, well, I'm not one of these people that like bashing one sex over the other, but let's say you attract a toxic person, right? Take responsibility over that. I think that once you take responsibility over that in the mind first, and then you go work on the root chakra, and then you go work on, the herbs and all that kind of stuff, that's the only way that will work. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because I tried doing that first and it didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work is because I didn't work on my mind first. I didn't deal with how did I land in that position with that person? What is it about me that brought that on? See, here's the thing. Everybody must acknowledge the fact that everything starts with self. People can't come into your lives unless you allow that, unless you attract that.
Like
Even
a
the
vampire. A vampire can't come in unless you invite them in, right? That's one of the rules, right?
exactly, King, exactly. Cannot come in. And if you notice with the vampires, what they always say, you got to welcome the man. They don't just walk in. So thank you for that, King. So that's the reason why I say accountability. Accountability is always first, because it's easy to blame the other person. That's easy. So you try doing the bells, I mean the crystals and all that, and I'm into all of those things. But it will not work unless you be accountable first. And also, Chef, when you mention about the fact that it doesn't, well, I'm thinking that you alluded to the fact that it doesn't really matter about the size of the guy, because if he has her mental, then she would be able to get pleasure from him. I'm in total agreement with that. Because the woman's body can adapt to the man's private.
Right. So you know it's funny,
That's
and
very
and
true.
I don't know if it's true, but there's spirits called succubus. They come in your sleep and they sleep with you and take your energy. That's a female, and an incubus is a male version of that demon that takes your spirit during sex, your energy during sex. We learned some steps, not all of them. Maya's gonna have her own thing with that on her Patreon, or just her reach out to her so she could give you the name of the herbs to cleanse you from those soul ties or sexual attachment. However, oh, please, Marcel, put her stuff up there so we can post it up. However, we want to make sure that the men give a chance to speak on certain things too. Men, have you ever felt that your life or your energy changed after you had sex with a certain woman? In the hood, we got certain women that we said, damn, every guy she sleeps with gets killed, or every guy she sleeps with go to jail. There's certain girls in the hood or the community that we know like that. Have you ever messed with a woman with bad energy, and did it really affect your life? Yes or no? To the
I'm
to
about
the
to
to
say
the crowd.
mine's the opposite. I haven't had the bad energy. I had like the
Okay, good energy too. Thank you.
yeah, I had the real good energy where for me, I'm really big on energy. You know what I mean? Like genuineness. Somebody can be a rough rider and somebody can have their personality flaws, but what's in your heart is what we talked about yesterday. Does somebody really love you or do they not love you, right? So for me, the energy got to be solid before I even get involved and continue to get involved. But the sex, I could be having a bad day, right? Even as a student, I'm working all day. I'm going to the library. It's stressful, right? I'm a STEM major, so I'm not working like how a communication majors might work. We actually like working super, super, super hard. Not, and that's not a knock to no communication majors. But a lot of times I find myself extremely exhausted, and a blunt and some Patron not gonna really get it done. It's gonna get me there, but I need you. I need you, and I guess I deal with the kind of women who understand that they not being used when I come home, and I want to have sex to release from everything else. I think a lot of the women that I deal with, they they look forward to that, right? They look forward to that because it gives something back to them too. Um, and that's just how I feel. That's the kind of stuff that I find myself in. I haven't had sex with a woman and then bad luck happened to me. I don't know. That never happened to me.
Can I speak to that real quick?
Yes.
Yes.
So I do think that women do have to be careful about that because when you are releasing, and this is like just from a woman's standpoint, when a man is releasing because they are tired, because they are stressed, or because they've had a hard day, then that does go into us, and then that can affect us later. So a lot of times, and Dr. Africa told us that we're not supposed to be tired after sex. Like actually supposed to be
Whoa.
energized.
Do you
Yeah,
know
you're
what's
supposed to be.
crazy? Recently I wasn't tired, and I was like, wow, that's the first time like I wasn't really tired. That's crazy.
Right. So you're not actually supposed to be tired after sex. So I mean, we do have to be careful that when we do are being intimate with one another, that we are doing it in a, and really we need to be doing it in a place where both parties are feeling it really should be an intimate moment of getting to a higher dimension and not lowering, going to a lower. So I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Darrell. I'm just,
Climaxfulness is what you're talking about, right?
what did you
A
say?
certain a certain level of climaxfulness.
Right, right. So you're in essence, you're in it's an effort to raise your vibration and not to just be releasing on that other person, in
Yes,
essence.
ma'am. Absolutely. That's exactly what I do.
So wait, why do men go to
Wait,
sleep then?
I about to say, oh dang.
Why do
Because
men
you're
get
losing all of your life energy. That you are releasing your life energy, and so then you're getting tired. So if you don't want to get tired beforehand, you need to eat a good hefty meal.
right? But
Not a good hefty meal. You need to eat something that's not, because most people, they'll go out to eat, they'll have a big dinner, then they have intercourse, and then they're tired. So you need to eat like a snack, a power snack. Drink some tea.
right.
There, you
I
said
heard.
that
I
like
actually
that.
heard that.
Granola
I
bar.
actually heard that you retain energy when you have sex, but you don't
Granola bar.
ejaculate.
Mayat,
Right.
aka the
Hey,
nutritionist.
Daryl. Darrel, you said that was exactly what you do. Well, so
Yes, he did.
do you go all the way, or do you stop yourself just before that all the way?
Yeah, you stop yourself right all the
No,
way.
I was talking. I was asking
Oh,
Darrel. He said
you asking
because he said
me
that's
like
exactly what. Yeah.
what I meant by that was, like I said, I get home, I got my Patron sitting next to me, I got my Red Bull, right? I got my PlayStation 5, I got my meditation mat. I'm gonna do all of that before I get to her. Once I get to her, I'm gonna pull out the massage oils, right? The candles gonna be. I got about 25 candles. They gonna be lit because that's we gotta set the natural lighting. Turn all the lights off, natural lighting. After that, we're gonna be solid, right? I'm not gonna be that's why I say I'm not using her to get over the energy. It's like my energy is low because I've been bringing home meat all day for the family. And like Mayette said, she just said it better than me. We about to raise each other vibrations right now. We about to spend 20 to 45 minutes raising vibrations for damn show. And then after those vibrations, she might find herself sleepy, Mayette. She might go to sleep. I've actually been in that situation quite often. I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
that's a normal thing. That's what we're used to that. We're used to being tired afterwards. So
Well,
I
now
mean, it's normal.
say we. I can't speak. There's,
Good.
I don't get tired. I think I should probably leave it at that.
Well, that's a good thing. You're not supposed to.
It's because I don't.
What we
It's so
doing here
simple.
tonight, man?
I mean,
Right.
I control
Yeah,
myself. I don't.
yeah. Before it goes there,
Conversation dark.
yeah.
Conversation after dark.
Right. So we see that at the end of the day, people end up, exchanging energy through sex, and then Mayatas gave ways for women to protect themselves, but men, I didn't go around the room. I want to know, sleeping with certain women had to change their behavior.
Yeah. I'm very intentional not to deal with because I grew up in the hood, Detroit, 7 Mile, 8 Mile, State Fair, Gratiot. So I would just go like 2-3 miles up the street and go to the nice high school, or where the kids who are the woman who have the head on straight. And I deal with those type of women. They was feeling me too. So I mean, it worked out. So, but I was very intentional kind of women I dealt with, even from a young age, because I see the kind of I saw the correlation with friends who would deal with those type of women who everyone knew wasn't good for them. We called them the jump off back in the day, but now they call them the stags or the women for the streets. But I saw what happened to those men when they dealt with those type of women. In fact, I got a best friend right now who started off dealing with a higher quality, higher tier type of women. He would avoid having sex with them, but then kind of have easier sex with the women who would just give it to him immediately, as opposed to the ones he had to, put a little bit more effort into. As a result, over the last couple of years, he slowly but surely degraded himself to the point where these are the only type of women he's dealing with. The strippers in the club who just got, who may only have one breast or something like that, who has the cigarette burns on their thighs. These are the type of women he's dealing with. But I was like, dude, I remember the kind of women you was dealing with before you got with them. He's like, oh, I didn't even know that. So I would go out with him to try to get him back too. But that was a result of him then finding attraction to those women that he slept with. So I saw that pattern with him and two other guys. I said, okay, maybe I should just not go with just the easy ones, right? The ones who just throwing themselves at me. Let me go for the ones I want, the ones who have actually a good head on their shoulders, the ones who have good positive energy. And I've been good so far. So that's my approach.
I want to speak to that too, brother, because I like how you was talking about your intentions and like your energy.
It's hard though. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard because it's like man, it's easy, it's right there. And I'm like, no, I'll be patient. Wait. And someone else come along, that's it. That's the one.
The way that I move, bro, and I found a lot of women say this. A lot of women come to me and they say, I've never orgasmed before. I've never reached a certain level of climaxfulness before. And to me, that usually stem with the man's intentions. Did the man come into it and did he really love you? Did he really did he care about you enough to say, I'm gonna put her first in the situation, right? She's opening her body to me, her energy to me, and I'm not gonna get too after dark, but it's a big C word, and it rhyme with jit, right? Start with a big CL, right? Right. You start to really care about a woman, you know what parts to touch, you know, and really to me that starts with the conversation. Do you want to have a conversation with this woman, or do you really just listen up to this woman and you want to, saying, get your rocks off and call it a day? A lot of dudes, that's how they be moving, and you can tell how they be moving because, you know, they want head, but they don't want to give it. They want they want to be touched the right ways, but they don't want to touch her the right ways, right? It's just a lot of inconsistencies, and to me, it leads to them lacking influence when it, and just really respecting the relationship. And then a dude like me come along, and then it's over. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
He nailed it. I mean, I think they call them some of the guys. I used to try to explain that process to some men around. I just stopped talking. I just don't. They used to, oh, you a simp? Like, where the fuck you get this simp? So that's something that they made up on the internet, where you actually taking care of a woman that you're. I thought it was an exchange, right? It's called sexual energy exchange. So why is it just the guy should be able to, like, I actually enjoy giving pleasure, me personally, and they enjoy giving it back. So it's a mutual exchange where a lot of guys, they just kind of, I just want to get my nut off. I just want to get taken care of. I can't see going down on
You're
the
not
woman.
really
I can't
getting
see
the full experience if your
I
woman
agree.
not orgasming in front of you, right? If you're not watching her shake, if you're not watching her
Yeah, I
eyes
think
roll
that's
back,
crazy. Yeah, I
if you're
think
not
that's
doing that,
the roll,
yeah,
eyes roll
yeah,
back in
we
the
all
back of the
agree.
head.
We all agree.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm there with you, man. I most definitely.
Well, I think, I mean, that's good for sexual pleasure, but what about like higher relational pleasure? Like, how do we connect with our women that way? How do we transfer that energy from one space to another? Because
Give me some,
anybody can, I mean, like Chef said, anybody can get the D and it can get it well, but how do we transfer that to getting cooperation and submission and and pleasure and community building and just all the stuff that is necessary for human life? How do we transfer these energies?
To me, you gotta stand like a woman has to know that she can trust you, right? And she can trust you unequivocally. She gotta know that she can trust your decision making skills. She gotta know that you won't be emotional in times and betray her, right? She gotta know that you won't change your stance like the fucking seasons change in Michigan, right? Right. And to me, that from my experience with women has led them to really trusting me and really garnering some kind of really family union.
yeah,
That's like that's we are the foundation. The foundation got to be strong, got to be solid like a rock. Once we there, right? Once we there, then she can lay beneath me and she can stay beside me. She can feel protected. She can be more vulnerable. She can be more feminine. She can open up more. It's like when the girl comes to your house dirty, your house stink. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? She don't want to get comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that's not a good foundation to get comfortable under, right? But you come to my house, I'm a neat freak. So you come to my house, it's neat, the bed's made. You know what I'm saying? I already got the candles lit. We already got the Febreze going. It smell good, right? Because I cared enough to prepare.
I like that. I care enough to prepare. Talk about that.
I like
No,
that.
for real. And then I prepared for this scene. And the next, the rest of the night, I also prepared in my mind as well. Right. And so that's why I said to me, the conversation come first. You talk to a woman, you figure out her preferences. During that conversation, she gonna figure out if you a rock or not. Can I really trust him or not? Is he capping? Do he mean what he say? Right? And things gonna go forward. So to me, it's all about how solid of a guy are you. Are you solid? Your woman gonna fall beneath you. She gonna fall under you, right? She gonna fall under your vision, your leadership, your trust. But to me, it all comes back to trust. We can't have that kind of relationship if the trust not 1,000. It got to be 1,000. I can't if I can.
Like, wow.
I need to be able to turn up, put a fucking blindfold on, fall backwards. No, you got me.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
No, I got a question. I got one question. I didn't get to go on the association or the penetration thing, but I was thinking about why is it that a guy can have a woman in prison, and the woman be loyal, is it really association? Like, we're in the day and age of long distance relationships. COVID proved that there are
Yeah.
women are loyal to men off just the telephone.
Yeah.
Boom.
Wow.
No,
Talking
I
that's
that,
say it's way deeper than
and
that, but
I understand that
yeah.
because doing time inside, I realized that you couldn't touch them physically. When they come to the visiting room, going to give them a hug before the conversation and after they leave. And you couldn't touch them physically and have sex with them. So, wow. So penetration, you transfer energy? Like, yeah, that's a good point. How do we transfer energy for those who are away, even a long distance relationship? How is energy transferred?
Oh,
um
that's that one.
through patience, through communication is always going to be that because that's all you have. But I think
Words.
that trust. I got to go back with Darrel on this one. Trust. I think trust is mega, especially in something that's long distance. You need trust. I think trust is a mega part of that because you're gonna have the communication. I think distant things can build even better sometimes than a physical thing because you get to know other part if people are being true. You know what I mean? Because some people play games, but if people are being true, you get communicate. It's not about just going to hang out. It's not about just going to have sex or you chilling. So you get to spend the time and have the patience, and you know what I mean. You get to really know a person more. So I think that the trust is really kind of major because especially in that distance, a person still want to feel secure. But they love, they feeling, all kind of different things. So I think trust is major to something that's distant because all it is communication, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you need to trust.
To me too, from my experience with that, the women who are loyal to men who are in prison or in jail, whatever, they they basically created that foundation before the prison bars ever came. The woman accepted whatever came with that. And one woman who I love to shout out is Terry Fenori's wife, right? She sat down. She sat down when he was in jail. She came back out. She didn't remarry or nothing. What's your last name? My name is Mrs. Fenori, right? Because I accepted that this man was going to do everything he was going to do to take care of my family, my bloodline. I'm gonna do everything I got to do to take care of him. She held him down. From my personal experiences when I was locked up, that was phone calls. You pick up the call. You sending me pictures. You send me pictures of my kids. You telling me that everything gonna be okay. You giving me news about what's going on in the family in the streets. To me, those are just real loyal people. To me, those are some of the most loyal people that you can be around because they not eating off your name. There's no clout chasing. There's no money involved. They just love you, right? And because they love you, they thinking about you. I wonder how he doing in there, right? Let me send him some ramen noodles. Let me send him everything he can do to make a cook up, right? So he don't be eating like a regular person in there.
Yeah,
I'm being genuine. If we being genuine,
in fact.
and they gonna hold you down no matter what nobody said.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because back in the days, you had people that wrote letters, and when you read the letter, you would cry. You have people that play music, you would cry. I believe in everybody has this power of alchemy, or this power of manifestation, this power of doing things without transfer energy through other things. Like remember that guy Gambit? He could
Yeah.
transfer energy through any material thing he touched. He used cards. We as humans, I believe we do have that ability to
Yeah.
transfer energy through these and do various forms of communication.
I,
The only issue I see with humans is that we are losing our ability to transfer energy outside of sex. We are like drastically losing our ability to communicate outside of sex and verbal. Sigmund Freud said 85%, 90% of communication is through body language. It's nonverbal. Why have we lost our ability to communicate or transfer energy non-verbally? What has happened to us?
hmm, I,
We
hmm.
start. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say you actually made a point earlier which is similar to how diet does play a big role, as well as, well, I can only speak for myself as a man. I just, when I'm doing my thing, as far as that energy, transferring that energy non-verbally, how I did over the phone, long distance relationships. And look, hmm, I'm a big believer in not releasing myself for very, very long periods of time under any circumstance. So that's how the energy gets transferred, and that's kind of something I found out by accident. So when you ask the question, you black, how are women able to get in communication with these men in prison and choose them when they got all these free men walking around that they can choose? I think largely because these men don't have anything else to do. They're probably not masturbating next to a guy if they're a straight dude. They're probably not watching porn. They're just working out and just building up their masculine energy, which translates through the phone calls that they get from these men. So they feel that masculine energy presence a lot more from these men who are in jail, who in some cases went to jail because of an overabundance of it. So that's my perception of it. And having experienced that for myself, not having been in jail, but having a long distance relationship, I was like, oh, so this is how this works, you know? And then I just kept that energy. And I found that that's what works. So, and I just made that my priority to transfer my sexual energy in that way, because it does travel through letters, which I've gotten, which I've written, through the phone, which I've made and received. So it's not just, it doesn't have to be a face-to-face thing. So that's how I do it. So diet and sexual discipline. But that's a whole deeper thing I don't want to get into.
Brother Joseph, if what you saying is true, you like a Shaolin monk, yo. I don't know, man.
It's hard.
I'm not as strong as you, bro.
It's difficult.
I'm a creature of the flesh.
Make no mistake about it. It took some practice.
And November's coming up too.
It works, y'all. I'm telling y'all that now. For women, I don't know what that process is like. I can only speak for myself. But from what I'm told, they get energized as well, because if I'm getting to them climax and I'm getting the climax, but not all the way, it makes me, it somehow, whatever, it helps them out.
So you practice Tantra. You practice
Tantric sex. Tantric.
No, Tantra and then
Tantric, yeah.
I guess if that's the term they use today, like the
that's more so breathing. It's more so breathing and role play.
Yeah,
when I traveled to India, I actually studied that.
I read about it too
for a short time. But at the end of the day, you have to be very careful. Like I don't kiss girls. I actually inhale them, and we in exhale when we have sex. I know you're like, what the fuck? But when you deeply kiss a girl, it's actually you're breathing back and forth in exchange of wind, exchange of energy. It's a whole concept of just kissing and breathing. If you actually when you and a woman are having sex, the heartbeat, the rhythm, the cadence must be aligned. It's like music. It's like a musical. A lot of people just men we taught that don't do anything. You're right. It has to be orchestrated to a way where it seems like an endless musical. It has to be beautiful, or it's not going to mean anything. But that's just me, But to the woman out there, to the woman on the panel, after you cleanse your energy from your womb of your previous lovers who were toxic, do you really cleanse them, or do they always have an attachment to you? Because men always believe we can always get back the woman that we had sex with, especially if we had sex with them correctly. I know Joseph believes that. There's not a woman that Joseph slept with that he can't get back.
Okay. No, you can. You can cleanse. Now it'll take some time.
How much time, so we know what we're working with to get them back? Let us know.
I mean, that depends on the woman, and it also depends on if she's has moved on mentally. So a lot of times, well, for me, I won't say a lot of times. For me, once I had decided that I was done with someone, then I had mentally moved on from that person. Now, it still took some time to cleanse that energy off that person, because a lot of times when you have moved on from that person, that love that you had from that person has turned to probably, well, not always, but sometimes it has turned into deep dislike or deep mistrust, deep hate, or even hate for that person. So the key to that is, if you're hating that person, if you're still thinking about that person, then that probably means that their energy is still on you. But once you have fully release that person, then you don't even think about that person. That person doesn't come to mind. Even if you see that person, like if they on your social media feed or whatever, they don't, it's nothing there. You don't get that flutter. You don't get that, your heart don't start beating fast, or any of that doesn't happen, because you have finally released that person. So it takes some steps. It depends. It could take years or it could take a few months. So it just really depends on that person, and most likely how deeply they were connected to you.
Right.
So but again, just like getting connected to that person, it all starts in the mental. So for me, when I was with a really just toxic person, I had decided, I had even said, I mean, this is when I was still in Christianity. So I was like, I prayed that I could fall out of love with that person, because I knew that person was not for me.
Wow.
And that was a hard prayer to pray, because you are connected to that person, you love that person, and you be like, hey, I don't want to be out of love with that person. But I
Right.
knew that person was toxic and damaging to me. So that was the first thing that I did. So you identify that, and then after that, you have to take those steps. And I mean, sometimes most women don't know that you have to do all these different steps to release that person. So sometimes that person, if you haven't released them, they're going to show up in your dreams. They're going to, you're going to manifest that person. You'll be thinking about that person, then boom, they show up, or you'll see them. So it's definitely a step that you have to, those steps that you have to take to fully release that person. And then once you do, then that person no longer affects you. You don't want them. You ain't thinking about them. They, and then you can properly move on with whomever you're with, or if you get someone else, and then you're not connected, you're not connected to that person anymore, mentally or physically.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Gemini thoughts?
Um, truly okay, it is my belief, let me say it like this, that it is really not meant for women to have a lot of sexual partners. I strongly believe that,
Wow.
yeah, because yes, we could, like
What's
you
a
said,
lie? What is a lie?
okay. Well, let me just be straight up, because this is a real show.
It's the
I, re-
realest.
yeah, I really believe, and this is what I'm telling my daughters. I got one that's 22 and one that's 17. 22
Mm.
year old and listen, and I see what I've been speaking to her. I see the difference. And a 17-year-old, she's not, she's not with anybody. She hasn't been with anyone. And what I tell her is this: is that the moment that a woman, a young lady, allows a man to penetrate her, um, that energy becomes a part of her for a long time. And I know this because of some fact that even though I'm big on accountability, I'm big on herbs, root chakras, and all of those things, I've been abstinent for about 8 years. And guess what? I still talk about my children's father. I have no interest in I have 3 fathers, 4 children. I have no interest in these people, none whatsoever. But I just been studying myself so that I could tell my daughters the honest truth. You have to be careful, and women cannot navigate on this earth the way that men do. Yes, we will try to cleanse ourselves, but I really, personally, spiritually, I don't believe that we can get rid of it like that. I think that we can
Hmm.
try to the best of our ability. And like I told you, I've been like the real abstinence. No nothing. Okay. No touching, no nothing. Me and my best friend, we talk about it all the time. And he's my guy friend, the one that when we talk about soul ties, we talk about this. He himself has
Can I jump? Can I
practiced.
can I can I jump into
But
this rabbit hole with you?
sure.
You mentioned this male friend of yours, and let me know when you want me to stop or you feel uncomfortable. You mentioned this male friend of yours before, and you said it's been 8 years since you have been physically intimate. You're the best of friends. You have deep thought-provoking conversation, and he means the world to you. Are you married, and why haven't you married him?
Okay. Well, I am one of these people that what Kevin Samuels talk about as far as when the mother deterred you and told you all these negative things about marriage. I
Right.
bought into that. That's the reason why I support what he says wholeheartedly, and I tell my daughters different. So because I wasn't told properly. I'm not taking away the responsibility away from self, but the true teaching on how to be in relationships comes from your parents. And if
Right.
you're not taught, you behave in ignorance. So I use what I have learned to tell my daughters the truth. And the truth of the matter is, the transition that a daughter must make is straight from home to a husband. And a husband must be
Mm.
vetted because women, we are absorbers. We
Right.
receive. So even though we're trying to cleanse, and I'm telling you, I do believe that it worked, but it don't really work wholeheartedly because I'm still dealing with the residue. And I have
Right.
no intentions with these people, none whatsoever.
Right. So, but you avoided the question. Why aren't you and him married?
Well, because I didn't believe in marriage.
Okay, but if you and him, why aren't you and him life partners?
Um, okay. We're best friends. I don't see him as like a spouse. I see him more like, I know this may sound kind of weird, but I see him like he's my twin. Like
So,
it's
so
like
that's
a
your twin.
male
That's your
version.
twin flame. That's your twin flame. Are you familiar with that concept, twin flames?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Right. So he's your twin flame. So why haven't you?
I don't see him in that way.
Okay, anymore.
No,
But does
no,
he see you in that way?
no, he doesn't.
He doesn't try you ever at all.
No, no, no. It like I said, no, no. It's really authentic. We don't try each other. We talk. As a matter of fact, I mean, we're actually roommates. We're roommates, and we don't know. We don't. It's none of that. Yeah, like it's like I know it sounds weird. Even my
No, no, it's
daughter.
not. It's not weird. It's not weird at
Yeah,
all because
but
there's no right configuration of relationships. My
yeah.
question to you, my next question to you is: would you, do you get mad when he's with other women and vice versa?
No, actually, as a matter of fact, he showed me a picture of this lady, and I was telling him, I said, you know what? He was like, well, let me say this about him. He's very, very picky. So sometimes I tell him I think that he's a little too hard. That most people have not done what he's done. Most people have not purged themselves from a lot of stuff. So as a result, when you're going out there dating people, you're dating people under the pretense of accepting them where they are. Because not most people going to, go fast. Not most people gonna, most people just not gonna be on the level that you're on. And
Right,
you just, yeah, but I tell him that like if you talk to the person about your belief and what you're doing, most people will be willing to rise up to that. So yeah, we're real authentic. And
right.
no,
Gemini.
I
I
feel
don't
that.
have
Right.
I
any
got a
like
question for
No, let me
Gemini.
get one more question in. I feel that. Another question is, see, how can I ask this question?
ask.
Um, you sure?
Yeah.
Um, have your daughters wanted you to be with him?
They like them, but they also understand their mother as well. They
Right.
look at me as being weird. They don't understand like my way of thinking. They don't understand. Like even my children fathers, they never believed that I was done with them, even though I was friendly with them. I'm cordial. I'm not argumentative. I deal with things as they are because of some fact that I'm big on accountability. This is what keep me centered. This is what keep my emotions intact. This is what keep me grounded, being accountable, and understanding why. Dealing with self plays a major role when you're dealing with people.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I got a question for you, Gemini. Um, you know, if you're uncomfortable with it, there's no disrespect intended, right? So let's say if you guys were drinking and the kids were asleep and you happen to be drinking, you're having some wine, whatever it is, whatever your poison is, you pick it. and y'all got super buzzed, and knowing what you know, would you go to your room when you go to your bedroom? Would you go and lock your door?
Okay,
But
I haven't drank in I haven't had a drink in years. So
Right.
so I don't do that, but maybe um before I was on this journey and you asked that, and if I had alcohol, you got to remember what I said in the beginning. The sex was really great with the guy. So I could imagine that I could perhaps entertain that thought, before dealing with self and being, being where I am at now. Because I was a different person back then when I met him than who I am now. So
Right.
yes, yes, more than likely that would have occurred.
I have a
But then I
question.
would have been back. We would have been back saying, "Wow, we shouldn't even be doing this." You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I appreciate
yeah,
your honesty. I was
yeah.
just because that what you spoke to from what it seemed. We as a people, we have a strength in mentality in terms of what we say that we want to do, or strength within ideals. But then we also understand the primal creatures that we are. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm glad you were able to be able to speak to that.
Hey,
Eh, no
Gemini.
problem.
She's on a higher level with this friendship, and it shows that bonds is not real bonds are not created through sex. And she said they was having sex and it felt like it wasn't right, and maybe they're destined to be intimate but not through sex. I'm just wondering, have you found anybody to match him or his level of intimacy?
Okay, so I have not been with anyone after him.
This
I've
is
just
getting this now is getting weird.
yeah, I've been on
Now
this.
it's getting weird. So you say 8 years, you haven't been with anybody but him.
See, yeah, the reason why is because um I had to deal with a lot of trauma. When I got in my 30s, a lot of stuff. Remember, I told you I was from the projects,
Yeah,
right?
you did
So
tell us that.
yeah,
Where
so
you, what city are you from?
I'm from Atlanta.
oh,
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
from
damn.
Georgia. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And yeah, and I went through a lot of trauma, okay? And because of that, it started hitting me. I was in corporate America, I had my own business, all that kind of stuff. None
Mhm.
of that I didn't feel satisfied. So I had to go on this journey. I had to heal myself. If I wanted to be a better mom to my children, a better person to myself, I had to go on this journey. Like it was just mandatory. You know how you just get this feeling on the inside that it's something else that you're supposed to be doing outside of the madness of what you're doing right now? That's what I
Mm.
went on. And
I
that's what
feel
I'm
her
on.
on that.
And I'm able to see, here's the thing, y'all. I'm able to go through this journey with him because he understands this as well. And he's on his own journey as well. And we're
What
able
is
to
he? What is he?
share.
What is he doing?
What do you mean by what
Like
is
what
he?
is as you are celibate, trying to find yourself so you can be a better person. Is he out there being proactive, sharing energy?
Well, I don't, I can't really speak on exactly what he's doing, because I'm not around a guy like that. But,
Which are roommates?
yeah, we're roommates, and we don't talk about everything now. We do have some privacy, but as far as what he shares with me, he works a lot. He has his own business, so he's inundated with work all the time, and he does that like 6 days a week. So, although he's approached a lot, he doesn't really accept the invitation. He says only because his business requires so much, and he knows that women require a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And so, because yeah, that's what he says.
I have a question in regards, if you don't mind. Do you have an X plan after the children are left, gone on to their own lives? Do you guys kind of say, hey, are we still going to do roommating? Are you guys going to build a house? Or what's kind of like the exit plan for you?
You know what, E Black, listening to Kevin Samuels, I already accept the fact that I didn't play my cards right early
Wait,
on.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Because,
hold on, hold on.
because I think that you're talking about like companionship for myself, right? Is that what
Yes.
you're asking me? Yes.
Yes.
You
So
said listen to
I've
Kevin
already,
Samuels.
huh?
You said Kevin Samuels helped you brought like Kevin
No,
Samuels helped you come to this realization.
No, I said like like listening to Kevin Samuels and listening to the women that's like in my age bracket, and it's definitely a difference, for me versus in my 20s versus now, right? So the availability of guys for me, it's very slim. So I already accept that. Okay. That's the reason why this journey that I'm on, I thought about it all, and my spiritual growth and my healing was detrimental. I got my 22-year-old. She has a son now, so I plan
No.
on like being the best grandmother I can be. I plan on like putting myself in spaces like that. My youngest son is 12, so I still have to be a mother to him, be a mother to my 17-year-old, and guide these people because they do online school. So I'm involved with that. So I got a lot of things down on the pipeline that I'm working on to keep myself inundated. And then me and him, we friends for life. I mean, we joke about it all the time when I say, when you get that woman, hopefully she'll understand that it's really not like that, that me and you really are like real good friends, and that she will accept me. And he always says that he would judge her based on the fact of whether or not she can accept me, and realize that not everybody could just have sex. You
Right.
don't have to have sex with people. And that's the thing. You don't have to have sex with people in order to have, fulfilling relationships. You know?
I have a
Oh,
question.
I agree with her a
that's the
thousand
question.
percent.
I'm sorry. That's the question. You just, when he finds someone else, I really believe you prepare him for a polyamorous relationship, not polygamous, but polyamorous, where he's in love with more than one person.
I think that he will love his wife, his future wife, when he attracts her. I think he will love her in a different way than me, because our relationship is totally different, you know? So I don't know. What is what is it
When the
again?
ability to love, polyamorous, amor, love, the ability to love. Polygamous is having a relationship with them, but polyamorous, you have the ability to love more than one person. And I think you might be loved, but you keep on referring back to my frat brother, Kevin Samuels, and I don't know him personally, but he is a part of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, which is a great fraternity in this world. But I would like to say one thing. Um, I like what he says in regards to marriage, because it does build the black community, and it's the reason why we're not there. But I don't subscribe to everything he says in regards to women losing hope when it
Hmm.
comes to
Yeah,
being married because of the choices that they made in the
I
past.
agree with King on that. I want
I
to
want to
back up
ask a
that too,
question.
Gemini. I
Right.
want to
Oh,
say that
yeah.
too, Gemini, because what King just said. I what up, Lucky? Mwah. I fuck with Kevin heavy, but I don't agree with that part. That after a woman get to a certain age, she should subscribe to the idea that she's gonna be alone forever. I don't subscribe. I don't understand that, because it's a lot of beautiful women that I see right every single day, whether it's in person or even on this panel or in the chats, that if they were single, you trying to tell me a dude would want to be with them? That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. I don't like the idea either. If a woman have children she gonna die alone, or that lowers her value. I disagree with all of that. I just feel like that's a lie. Gemini, you're not cammed up or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that you can find somebody that's gonna treat you right, that's gonna give you what you need, what you want, right? That's just my message to you.
I have
Well,
a
so
question for.
okay, so
Okay.
Darrel, let me say this to you right quick, okay?
Yes,
Remember,
ma'am.
I met this guy and I had my 4 children, right? So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
shows you that I don't operate in that mindset of like thinking that there's no one that will be attracted to me. It's just
Hmm.
that I haven't disclosed this, but I was damaged as a kid. I'm telling you, my headspace, everything. It like I just went through a lot, and it didn't all start crashing upon me until 8 years ago. So I had to go on this journey. I had to go on this journey of helping myself, doing realizations, being accountable, and then when I look at my children, I owe it to them to be honest about things so that they don't fall into the same trap. So that's why I say, I know a lot of people won't understand it, but that's the way how it is. And sometimes you have to purge yourself in order to be rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely
That's
agree,
You
good.
have,
and
That
you
is
have to
and
good.
do
thank you,
that.
Gemini. Thank you
Thank you.
for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Yeah, that
No
was very
problem.
transparent. Thank you so much. I
No
appreciate
problem.
that. I would just like to leave with the fact that not you, not per se you, because you went through a lot and you're doing the work. Like I did the work today. Every Monday, 12 o'clock, I go to my therapist. Um, I just want to say you're doing the work, and I'm proud of you, Flower. I'm really proud of you. I'm glad you have some flower on your profile pic as well. But I want to say to you, not to every woman in the room, I'm sorry. I'm a hopeful romantic. I believe that if you are your best self, you will meet your best partner. The reason why you don't meet your best partner because you're not your best self. And I think Gemini is explaining that she's trying to be her best self. And maybe Thomas might not be on her side, but at least she's going to be the best self for herself. But for you women out there who are with multiple children or one child, or who you know might be a little bit overweight, or might not feel as confident in yourself, please take this time to be to make sure you're the best you. Make sure you're the best you, so you can get the guy that you want, not the guy that you settle for. I want you to be. I'm telling you, as king, you can get the guy that you want if you become the best you. And if you can't get the guy that you want, then you'll get someone damn well close. Because at the end of the day, yes, there are limitations. If you start out late, you might miss out on the one that you really want, because he might be married. Because you took so long to have confidence and self-esteem in yourself. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. Let me make that one clear one more time. You do not get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate in life, right?
Facts.
And this is why I move the way I move in life. I want the best, so I ask for the best because I am the best. I walk in like God sent me in the room. That's how I walk in every room I deal with. That's anything I do, I put myself that I'm the man. Because if you do not do that, you're already lost. So please don't let someone, and don't get twisted. I have no issues with him. It's he has a lot of data backing up what he says. But let me tell you something as an academic, correlation doesn't equate to causation. Remember that. In stats, correlation does not equate to causation. Just because you have all these stats doesn't mean that's the cause of what's going on in our community. You get what you negotiate. But also, women, stop trying to shortchange men. If you know a man likes a woman that's fit, don't try to be all nice to him, because he still wants a woman that's fit. Men, if you know that woman wants a man that makes a certain type of salary, don't try to do something else. Give her what she wants or leave her alone. The problem with our people right now is that we are wasting each other time. The worst thing you could do to each other is waste each other time. Period. I told you we got t-shirts coming out, and the t-shirts are going to say, being great is the new petty. Why? Being great is the new petty. This is how you get back at people. Don't be spiteful. Don't do anything malicious. Just be great. Just be great. Be better than who you were before. That's how you get everybody back. Don't mind them. Be great. And I think our people are not being great. The ladies are not being great. For some reason, there's a mental block that they're not being great. I feel like as a community, let's talk about energy as a community building. Why aren't our men transferring energy that promotes and empowers our women? Why aren't we transferring? And the woman always said, we are not protecting them. We're not doing this. Why aren't we transferring energy to our women so they could be great and demand or negotiate the man that they want? Please.
I got this one. I got
Thank
this
you.
one first. My opinion. As a young man, I'm 31, so young to some, old to some. It is what it is. To answer your question, King, I think that women see that men are insecure. They not solid. So the women see right through them. They see we can't be we. How can we feel protected behind a group of men that's insecure and not solid?
Mm.
How I never understood that, right? It's clear. I've heard women like my yacht, and I'm not speaking for her exactly, but I'm pretty sure when we were talking about Black Wall Street, she said we can get it done. She would like to see it get it done, but we can't get it done if she don't feel protected. We can't get it done if the men in leadership can't do what we did, right, and be mature, put aside our differences, and come together again, right? I think that in every community, unfortunately, men have shown their inability to protect, provide, and commit. And that has so many fucked up ramifications. One of them is the disbelief that we can even protect them, that we can hold them down. That's how I feel. That's what I see every day. You know
Okay.
what I mean? That's why, when it comes to protecting people the way I do it in such a passionate way because I don't want nobody to mismistake um my intentions. We gotta protect every community, right? But as a black man, I feel super, super, super passionate about protecting black women, and all my flowers, my garden. Because and I hate when people say, "Well, that makes you racist." No, it doesn't.
Yes, you can.
Again, because these young brothers right here, I haven't met y'all before, but I talk about it all the time. They just passed the whole hate bill for a certain community, and we wasn't involved. No, our name was nowhere. Sandra Bland, rest in peace. Breonna Taylor, rest in peace. They should have been protected, right? And then we did pass the no knock warrant law, right? So to answer the question, King, some of us are protecting black women and
Right.
protecting our communities, but I think we just got to do a way better job. A way better job. We got to be
Yes.
more active. We got to be more active. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
One community, talk about it. Talk about it, brother.
I take it there with you. I think that it comes down to it's all a social. It all comes down to a construct. I think that it's more that we're living more in a patriarchy. I think that we come more from a matriarchal system. I think that we have to raise up the women. I think we're in a system that's predominantly male dominated, even in a system which was European, and even their own women had to fight for everything that they had as well. So we come from a system more of where we raise the women, and even when you're thinking of Ma'at and you're thinking of the balance and you're thinking of the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculinity, I think that it's a miss it's an imbalance of divine masculinity. Because even when there are supportive men that do support women like me, you know, um, you can't tell a guy that's not, what I mean, without it being a chaotic thing or it being something that we getting into fights, you know what I'm saying? Whereas usually, those guys in the home, like when they have the father figures or, I mean, those guys usually tell you about how things go. And a lot of times when we're looking for those figures or we have those figures, we push them away. Um, I think it's time for us to raise the women up. It's time
Wait. We said raise. Talk about
raise the
that.
women. The women
Raise them up as in train
as
them or empower them. Which one?
It's nothing to train about that. We need to raise them up and let them have their own power. We need the men and the women to be empowered. We don't need a system where it's the men, even in the conscious
Wait,
community.
hold on. You're talking something that's
Yeah.
against patriarchy. You're talking something against the red pill. You're talking about something against what Kevin preaches. You're talking about what LaBeef,
Yeah.
LaPeef. What LaPeef's talking about. So what's the LaBeef?
Laqueef.
Yeah.
LaBeef. I'm sorry. I have a list. I say LaBeef, right? LaBeef Network, right? LaBeef Network. You talking about against what they talking about?
Yeah. Literally against that. Yeah. All the way against that. Yeah.
I fuck with you. This is the true
All the
pill.
way against that.
This is the true
Because,
pill community. Talk about
I
it.
think that it takes the men and the women because even in the conscious community right now, you know what I'm saying? I think look at how things are going. You know what I mean? Right now, we got these men, right? We got nobody really left. Even people in the Kemetic community, where people believe in Ma'at and its balance and its divine feminine, and we understand. We see it in the pyramids. We see it in all around us. Them expressing the love of the woman and the understanding that we came from a woman. You know what I mean? So I think that we have to understand. I think men came from women. I think that woman was the first man, and I think that the womb created we. She created the man. And that's how that happened. You know what I mean? And everything happened after that. It just went to wherever it went. So that's what I think. I think that we have to make sure the women and the children feel safe. I've been talking on a lot of panels, and a lot of women do not feel safe. They do not feel safe in the neighborhoods. I spoke to one young woman. She's like 30 something, I think, but she had a 13-year-old child. And I think her child was like 13. And she said, "You want to work out?" I think she went out jogging. And she said this was the first day that her child actually got a cruel, harsh reality of how the guys was gawking and it was getting like, and how it was. And she was so scared that so much so that the daughter stopped going through the front door and she started going through the back door. So much so that the neighbors and stuff after a while only thought that she had a son because they never really saw the daughter really coming through the front door. You know what I'm saying? So when we understand that our women and our children have to be safe, when our women and our children aren't safe, that means that we are not safe. You can't find a kingdom in history that didn't secure the women and the children.
Talk about it.
You have to secure the women and the children. You know what I mean? If the women and the children are not secured, then we're not. We're going missing at alarming rates. You know what I'm saying? Men, women, and children, but especially our children. We're going missing at alarming rates. I think all of the fight and doing this makes us miss on some things like that as well. I think that even the manosphere and the women's sphere, I think they both make great points, but I just think it gets into a stagnant conversation where it don't lead to no solutions. I think that we need more solution-based building.
Right.
But, yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Here goes a tough question now for you and Darrel, and you and E Black, and you and Chef, and you and Joseph.
Yeah.
Ladies, flowers, let me know if I'm right or wrong. There is a disparity between the amount of qualified men and qualified women. So how can we protect our women through the institutions of marriage if it's not enough of us qualified to marry them? Also, how can we protect them, like physically protect them, if it's not enough of us, number-wise? So I need y'all to solve that solution for me, please.
Hold on. You said hold on. There was no qualified men and women. What do you mean qualified in terms of?
I didn't say I said there's not enough qualified. Meaning, say there's not enough men that are marriage-minded to protect us through the institution of protect our women through the institution of marriage. Because now our men in our community don't see the benefit of marriage. Okay. They don't see the benefit of marriage because you can have a kid without marriage. You can take care of your lady without marriage. What do you need marriage for unless it's tied to your religion, right? Or your faith. That's the only people that get married, because the tax breaks that you get for marriage, you can get it other ways, right? So what is there? So because we don't have this institution to promote our men marrying our women, and then it's not enough of us that want to do it anyway, then it's not enough of us that has enough resources to take care of families. How do you protect our women when we don't have enough of us, Darrel?
I think the answer to that is, where I come from, we would say it like this: I am my brother's keeper, right? And what that really means, when you really break it down, is I got you, you go to jail, I got your family, right? I got your family, I got your son, I got everybody.
Sometimes it ends up with him sleeping with your wife. I've seen it happen many a times.
I can't really speak to that, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, I spoke on that a few shows ago, right? Mm-hmm. But as far as taking care of the community, it shouldn't be a married or I'm getting something out of it from her. It's I love my brother, I love my community, right? And if you love your community, you're gonna do everything you can amongst the resources that you have to do your part, right? And for me, I agree with one community. We got to protect our community, just like Hanifa was saying. The women don't feel safe amongst us. I believe.
Damn, wait, hold up, Darrel.
Too many yards.
Hold up, Darrel. You wasn't here earlier, right? The men on this panel said, and the woman agreed with them, it was multiple people at a dinner table, they wouldn't pay for everybody. Only Chef said he would. So if there's multiple women in the community, do you expect them to take care of everybody either? Let's see what I'm saying. You see how we connect the beginning to the end? If you can't take care of a multiple women on a table to buy them a drink and a food, how do you expect to take care of multiple women in the community that don't have a man?
I was about to say, I never experienced that because I was with some friends, like I said before I got here.
You wasn't here. I'm just letting you know you wasn't here.
Right. and we were just doing that. We was buying drinks for everybody. Everybody was buying drinks for everybody. I think the people who
There's noise in the
don't want to do
background.
that
Someone has noise in the background. Thank you.
I think the people who do that is the people who just. I'm not saying that they selfish, but maybe they don't have the means to do it. Right. That's why I said do what you can amongst your means. So
He
for
said we
me,
can't save them all.
not one of us, but all of us can.
That's a fact.
Not one of us, but all of us can.
That's a fact.
You know, and collective unit. You know, we don't got
Noise
to
in the
be
background. We have
Superman.
noise in the background. Oh, okay.
That's a fact.
We don't got to be Superman. Like I'm not looking for that. But collectively, I disagree. Collectively, I believe we can save them all. We can protect them all. Collectively, we can be. You know what I'm saying? We can be like what the Avengers was. You know what I'm saying? We can do anything. We can go back in time. We can do anything. Anything. You know what I'm saying? Listen, for those who disagree with that, understand that Black people created their own city, their own town, their own infrastructures, resources in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? No cell phones, no iPads, no nothing. These people was magnificent. And if we can get back to that with the technology and the education we got today, I think we're gonna be solid. But the problem is, King, is too many men make excuses, right? You could pay for everybody at the table, but you're not. Why? Because you're gonna complain about you can't get enough. You're gonna say something about some broke type of shit, right? But you could do it. There's too many dudes that are in positions where they can do it, but they're not doing it for some pathetic reason. You know what I'm saying? Give your all. And don't give excuses. Because when you give excuses, don't save nobody. That's my opinion. If we really want to take it there, we can look at how countries are, and how the infrastructures. Like, for example, if I was a general and I sent out 4 Navy SEALsmen and I told them to go get a job done, they're gonna go get that job done. And the story I'm referencing specifically is the lone survivor. They sent four Navy SEAL against 200 Taliban. One came back, but they got the job done. Go America. You get what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say.
Yo,
So how?
I just want
Go
to,
ahead.
as a man, like I said, I just want to let everybody know, I know a lot of people aren't really faith based, but you have to have a fear of God. You have to have a purpose in this world. If you don't have a purpose in the world, you really can't create a philosophy on how to change the world.
Oh shit.
And when you have a philosophy on how to change the world, then you can start changing what's going on, your attitude about the world. And then you can start going into action about what you want to do with the world. And then once you start like saying, oh, this works and this doesn't work, then you can create a philosophy about the world. Then when you create the philosophy, then you can pass that philosophy down to a cultural standard. So it's all still starts with the fact that you have to have a belief in the world, a higher power, and your purpose. So I know a lot of people really don't believe in the religion these days. They don't like it, but at least have a fear of God. The symbol that I have on my channel is based on my fear of God. I believe God put me on this earth for a reason. So I am able to now pass on knowledge from God. We're here for a reason. We have a reason to be here. And our reason is not to see our community die. Our reason is for us to be in our rightful throne as a men.
Can I ask you a question?
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Can I ask you a question, E-Black? If you're a Christian, so why are you so gun-ho about Black community? Christians about everybody that's a Christian. It's not just Black.
Because
I was raised a Christian, but I'm spiritual. But I'm trying to figure out Christians doesn't matter about color. But you are pro-Black. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So why?
Well, Christianity deals with tribals, and God recognized different tribes. And I recognize my tribe.
Okay. I'll get that. That was a good answer. All right.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of times.
I'm sorry, Mayat, you had something to say?
Yeah, Queen.
Yeah. My question to that is just I understand like the, having men show leadership, but how do we get to the building if we don't trust one another?
So trust is trust required for transferring energy in our community building?
Yeah, with community building, it's definitely gonna be a part of it because that's one thing we're not one thing that is in our community that we don't have is that we don't have a level of trust to say, hey, here, we're going to build this, and I'm going to trust you with this money. I'm going to put some money in your hands, and that you're going to be able to take that money and do what you need to in order for us to build, because we have this common goal. So I mean, first we have to understand that we have that common goal, but then we have to trust one another well enough so that we can build on that. So that might be the transfer of energy as in money. That might mean that you're going to come and do some work. So how do we build if we don't even trust each other yet? Which
I,
I mean, the level of distrust in our community is high.
I want to just input real quick. I know Chef about to go. I want to input real quick about the whole religion thing. The reason why you lose a lot of people on that, and I'm about to make a real good example. Well, one community, I want you to hold me accountable on this. When the Black Panther came out, everybody loved him. Go to T'Challa, Wakanda forever. His religion was the boss religion. They knew who they were. They knew who they are. One community, would you take the Bible, put it in King T'Challa's hand, and tell him to go teach it to the rest of the Wakandans? Yes or no before I keep going?
Man, but you can't live in false realities, man. That stuff is not
And
gonna
it's not
work.
a false reality because our culture was stolen from us.
We're talking
and
about a
something else
movie
was
and
taught to
in
us.
real life.
I'm not talking about a movie. We can talk about actual African cultures. If you're not attached to it and you're unaware of it, that's on you.
Because there's a lot of stuff.
But
like
I'm not.
You know what I mean? This is what I get, right?
Hold on. Because King's come from his own culture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to go to the book right now. I can get King and Chef. They come from their own separate cultures. They know who they are. They King first and last name is because of his culture.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. So he wasn't stripped away from that. But it's people here named black man by the name of Bill Berry. That's not us. They took the T'Challa away from us, and they gave us the Bible, in my opinion. And you lose a lot of us on that because we don't trust it. But
all things fall apart.
Thank you. At the same time, where black people was praising, shout out to Malcolm X. 4 black girls blew up in a church, right? What's the little dude name? Little white kid who got a burger afterwards. Walked into a church, murdered 9 women. We don't trust the church. So if you reach out to all of us, I agree with my yacht. Form a system of trust and don't have it be around something that we can't go out and touch that.
So why isn't the church no more the staple for transferring spiritual energy, E-Black?
Because
like I said, because people aren't willing to submit to a higher power. They think they're starting to develop their own power. They believe that economic power creates a better system in power. But we've been here since before this economy was here, and we were great before dollar was even thought of. So I challenge you guys to really kind of get back to thinking about what human relationships are about. And it's not necessarily about religion, it's about the fear of God, that we're supposed to be here for a community. So I'm gonna die. It's not Christianity based.
I'm here.
Let E-Black
finish. Let E-Black finish, and then one community, then Maya, and Darrel. But I just want to ask one thing before E-Black finish. Why does the Bible say that God, the temple of God, is you?
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that I think people would understand. But if you don't understand that this is part of being a human being, is that you listen to higher authorities and you listen to what the message is for you, you're never going to be able to distribute that to other people. So I get what you're saying, but that's how you have to have religion. I'm not talking about just Christian religion. I'm just talking about an understanding of a power and a system that we've understood as human beings. We've so far allowed other systems control us now. So,
I mean, can I ask you a quick question? So, do you believe that we are supposed to, I guess, in a sense, worship or serve a God that's outside of ourselves, or do you believe that you are? I don't want to go against like what you believe, but you are one with the creator. Like you are part creator, you're part God. I guess in essence, like you're part God. Do you believe that?
Okay, what I believe is this. You know, I am a Christian, and through my Christian faith, through the faith, belief in of Jesus Christ, He gives us supernatural powers by invoking His name. So when you have supernatural powers, you can then go on and do great things on earth. So that's kind of just the small power part of it.
Just,
Oh.
oh, okay. But look, you know, this is why I say, look, this is what I say. You know, because I'm thinking about it. My thing is called One Community. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm doing. It's like, how do you bring people together? You know, as a young guy, you know what I'm saying, I studied a lot of different ways of life. You know, Israelite, maybe Hebrew, alphabet, taught myself a lot of languages and stuff too, so that I can understand different ways of life as well. I think that when we get into the spiritual argument is where we all get lost with each other. We
Yeah.
always hit a wall. You know what I mean? Christianity, you know, Christianity went through a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? You know, Christianity being with Constantine, and Constantine making it the world power that it is, giving the power to the Roman Church, which in turn gave the power to the Pope, which in turn, if you Google who the Pope is the middleman between us and Jesus right now. So, and then there was a Nicene Council that happened that they picked which books went into the Bible. And
Right.
it was 40, you know what I mean? So, like, it's so many things, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the King James, I think it was 49 scholars that went into writing that book.
Right.
So many things, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things, but you know, I think even to read the Bible, you would have to read the Apocrypha, the lost books of the Bible. You would have to read Mary, Joseph, and all the other books that were retracted from the Bible as well. Which these are books that I read as a little kid. You know, these are some of the books that I used to read. But you know, I think that right now we can't. I think everybody should keep their doctrines or whatever they believe in until further notice. But I think
Let me say. Oh, sorry.
we
Go
really
ahead.
get together on commonalities. I think that again, I want you to go to Chef, but I just think that we got so much commonality right now that regardless if you Islamic, regardless if you from whatever religion or whatever faith, right now shit is happening outside that window. Right now is George Floyd's, is all of this going down, is jabs being pushed. Right now it's a game about the super rich and the super broke right now. And if you're in the middle class and you think, it might not be me, unless you pander your way to the elites, 9 times out of 10 what happened to us gonna happen to you too, and that's gonna be past black people too. That's gonna be black, that's gonna be white people, that's gonna be Asian, that's gonna be Indian, that's gonna be a bunch of people, and we gonna have a commonality to say, you know what, this is about to affect me too. So we need to see that until further notice, because we've always been the highest spiritual people on this earth, so we've never had a spiritual problem. You know what I mean? We never had a spiritual problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that everybody got piece of the knowledge because all of the knowledge is us.
Wow. She said, if we believe in a higher being without knowing, why would we not believe in us?
Um, I believe in
Facts.
ancestors. I believe in the ancestors. I believe in a higher power above me too, though.
Right.
But
I
that's
mean, I think we
Yeah.
disconnect. We disconnect from our ancestors, right? Because our ancestors literally died for us.
yeah,
Like they died for us. But
yeah,
then we lift up someone else that we have no evidence of, and we give that entity all the energy and say, oh, this entity died for us. But we have living proof. We are connected, more
Speak
connected to
on it.
our ancestors having died for us. But I think we let religion and whatever we believe, most people don't. I know lots of people who don't want to work with someone else just because they believe differently. And that's our issue. Like we have to stop thinking like, okay, you believe you're a Christian or you a Buddhist or you believe in African spirituality and we can't work together. We need to just put that stuff to the side and just come together and work together.
But I think more
All
or
right. So
less,
let me
I
say
think,
this.
let me just say this
Let me
one
jump.
last.
I gotta shut you off, you black. No offense, man. You
yeah,
know what I mean? This is the episode where Chef ain't say nothing for a minute, bro.
facts.
You
I
got
gotta
it,
pull
my
this
guy.
back. I gotta pull this back, man. And why I say I gotta pull this back is this: we one of the things, one of the problems that folks say that they have that our community has had is that we tend to lean on spirituality and religion in order to find solutions to our earthly issues, right? So I sat back, and there's no disrespect to anybody because the beauty of this conversation is the way the corners that will bend, right? But at some point, we have to think, if we believe in any sort of religion, we understand that we have a deity. That deity provides us with rules of engagement on how we're supposed to move. But that deity also provides us with that thing that's called free will, which means he gave the set of rules and he's going to drop you in the sandbox and you're going to do whatever it is that you do. But he set rules. Amen. It's like playing GTA. You get what I'm saying? You can do anything. Jump in the car, run out, do this, do that. You know, that's the way it is. But now, if we're talking on a solution-based level, then spirituality is not going to be the thing that, to me, my personal opinion, spirituality is not going to be the thing that progresses us through this, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want, somebody want to Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
I love that.
MASLOW,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. My brother told me about that.
There's 5 of them, right? And out of the 5, there's 3 cores that they apply to. One is psychological needs. Other one is safety needs, right? You got belongingness and love needs. You know, flowers, y'all love that. You know, you have esteem needs and you have self-actualization or realization needs.
Yeah.
Now, what are those? The first 2 are basic. The others are psychological. The others are self-fulfillment. What does it mean? So when you're speaking to somebody, because the question was related to, you know, if I building them up, right? Potentially building them up. I believe that as us, the superpower that our creator gave us was the level of communication and our level of action. Mm-hmm. So we have to take those things into account. We have, sorry, this is going to be important. I want to make sure I get this right.
Right.
Okay. We want to take those needs into account. The physiological needs, which is food, water, warmth, rest. For us, G's, the men that we are, that's provision, right? Safety needs, security and safety. What are those? That's protection. If you're a man, that's what you bring. Belongingness and love needs, intimate relationship and friends. So remember, that was the D and the other people within their love for periphery that add to them. Esteem needs, prestige and feeling of accomplishment, making that beautiful flower feel that she is an important part of your ecosystem, right? We do it here by calling them flowers and talk about the life they breathe. They breathe into us. So those are important, right? Belongingness and the esteem needs, those fall under psychological needs. Those are important. We are human beings. The most critical organ within our body is this thing up here, because this doesn't work, everything else shuts down. That's why the hitman go for the dome piece, right? Self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. All right. Now, I normally will say certain things, but I'm gonna show you something real quick. So I pull out this thing here, this plaque here, right? That's something that's important. Okay. Let me tell you something. You see this thing right here? This painting that everybody asked me about, this thing right here? That was painted by the woman I love. And it was one of the first and foremost artistic endeavors that she had taken. And it means a shitload to me. And in terms of me sitting on this platform with over 24,000 views, right? I put that thing right there so everybody can see and folks can ask. Why? Because that's part of the self-actualization. Okay? That's part of the esteem needs, making her feel that prestige and feeling of accomplishment, achieving one's full potential and goals. You get what I'm saying? This is real. This is not something we talk about. This is something that we live. So I understand the spirituality. Both my grandfathers were Pentecost. One is passed on and the other is still alive. You know what I mean? In his mid-hundreds, believe it or not. Yo, I had to put spirituality aside to understand that my creator, he allowed me a certain degree of free will. And I want to make him proud and I want to utilize that free will. But by the same token, I'm dealing with mortal beings. So when I look at that hierarchy of needs, that also gives me a framework to understand how I should help that person progress. Oh, somebody's supposed to say, "Scoot."
No, that's exactly what I'm saying, Chef. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, listen, on that note, I want everybody to give their shout outs. We about to end.
Hey, hey, I'm sorry, King. Can I just add something very quickly?
You could do whatever you want, Flower.
Okay, thank you. I agree with everything that everybody has said on here, because I think it's very important. The different mindsets in order to heal or cure a situation. Now, I want to add to what you guys, what everyone has said, and that is this. You know how, like in, like when you look at nature, there's a system and their system get passed on from generations and generations and generations when you look at nature, when you look at the animals, the insects, the birds, even when you look at the mere fact that the sun and the moon, it rise up, it goes down, right? If we establish a code of conduct, standard procedures that everyone can agree upon, okay, and for the younger generation, it must be implemented real young. Everybody must start vetting people before they start having children, because this idea of family must be felt first when you're young. That, in my opinion, that's the only way how you can even feel even good about being in the skin that you're in. You have to first love your family first, and then it expands out into your community. So if we establish a code of conduct, standard, operating procedures, look at nature, look at their systems, keep these practices going to where it's passed on for generations, whether we write them down in books within our own particular families. I think that right there will help turn things around. And I think that even if we're not into the religion that people are in, if we could just look at the fact that that person is a part of something, and if it's making that person into a better person, let's accept that. So like with E Black, when he was talking about the Jesus and all of that, even though I myself feel like I'm a little bit beyond that, I'm on something else now. Okay. But I do get exactly where he's coming from. So like a moral code of conduct needs to be established as well. So we do these things. And also another thing, establishing a think tank, like with what we're doing here. We're hearing some.
Bingo.
Uh,
I said bingo. Think tank.
yes, a think tank. Think tank from a variety of people within our community, right? And everybody be in agreement with it. And then we go out and, get everyone else buy-in on it. That's the way I believe that we could change things. But we first have to start feeling like we're a family. And the only way that you can feel like you're a family is first you got to be raised up properly. But for us that's already been raised, we got to just start realizing that that's necessary. If we want Black Wall Street back, those people believed in family. They were married, they had children, they wanted better for their people. And in order for that to happen, you just have to, establish it that way through the code of conduct, operating procedures. Let's look at nature, let's look at the religion, let's take the good parts out, and let's create a think tank. And thank you for allowing me to add that in, King.
You're
Agreed.
welcome. Anyway, on that note, I want to say good night to everyone, but everybody give their final shout outs on their pages, please, where they can reach you. Starting with me, you can reach me at Conversation with King every day, Monday to Friday, from 7 to whenever everybody gets tired. Right? Thank you very much. Also, you can reach me on my IG page, King Homeku. Other than that, this is a beautiful show. Tomorrow we got a spicy topic for you. and let's get the subscription up. I got 610, probably 613. I need 700 by the week. Let's see if we can do it. 700 by the week. Tell a friend to tell a friend to go and subscribe to my page. My goal is to reach 1,000 by before November, and I got 6 days left. I got 6 days left. I need 1,000 subscribers. I need less than 400 subscribers in 6 days. If we work together, we could do a miracle. So 6 days. Let's try to get 1,000 subscribers. November 1st, please. Thank you.
I'm E Black. I have a channel called E Black TV. First, I just want to say, don't forget to share it on Twitter. Share this on your Facebook, your favorite Facebook group. You might even cut it up and put it in a little snippet and share it with your friends. But to all those who do support this channel, thank you. And shout out to Marcella, and shout out to King, shout out to Chef Darrel, my guy, and my One Community, and Gemini. And like I said, follow me on eBlack TV. And that's it. We're going to be gone.
I guess I'll go next then. I'm Darrel Long at Everything Everyday Podcast. 1906, December 4th. Best Friday of all time. Shout out to everybody that's here tonight, man. My guy, E Black, Chef, King, Gemini. I see one crew left, but shout out to One Community as well, man, and everybody in the chats too. Dawn, I want to give a special shout out to you, Terry, Hanifa, Keisha. Oh, you still here, One Community? So shout out to you, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you.
Everybody, shout out to y'all, man. Hey, 06. That's all I gotta say, man. And you guys have a good night, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. I want to say shout out to all of y'all. I want to say this is a very, very powerful build. I want to say salute to King, salute to E Black, Chef, my aunt, Gemini, Darrel, everybody that came through, everybody, all the great leaders in the chat. I like to call people leaders in the chat. No one's followers, because we got to start to change our language, because I think followers is another classism system, something that just separates us. You know what I mean? We are, you know what I mean? We family, man. We connecting in. When you sub in, you like family. I'm on that 1,000 push for King too as well. I have a channel that has over 1,000 already. So, you know what I mean?
Brother.
I'm helping us to, yeah, man. That's what I'm doing on my channel. I want to help us to get
Peace, OG.
you know what I mean? Get my subs to come into everybody. And I'm saying, like I said, the community is always welcome for us to come in individually. If you want to suggest things, E Black, everybody, what you think our community need, you know what I mean? Things that we want to talk about. There's no boxes on it. That's how I like to do in the community. We all get together, we talk. Even if King comes and you could do one of these over there, I could create an overly graphic conversation with King, and you just come and run a show with young people, couple people, and just start getting some of these people from over there. You could get to 1,000 in probably in a couple of days. You know what I mean? So if you just come over there and do a couple of shows or something, you know what I mean? Figure out something that you want to come and talk to, Chef. Yeah, I mean, individual things that you want to come on and talk and what you think, you know what I mean? And let's start getting the people acclimated to y'all, because it's not like it's going to be a one-time thing.
Right.
That's how we start to build. That's what my channel's about. You know what I mean? You can even do shows over there if y'all want, whatever y'all want to do. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope.
So, I mean.
Hey, thanks, man. Because not a lot of people think like that. I'll tell you that. A lot of people want to keep it. A lot of people got 40,000 subscribers and they want to keep it to themselves.
It might be a New York thing. They always talk about New York people. They always talk about New York people, this and that, but we don't want only one sharing. What's up? What's up, New York? What's up? Where New York at? Huh?
Yeah, man. You gotta share, man. Yeah, you throw a report in there.
Spread love with the Brooklyn way.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn too. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I think it's about that. You know what I mean? Once everybody help everybody to monetize, then we all lit. I think it's just really something simple.
See what I mean? That's all I've been saying.
I just think we all lit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to King, man. You're doing really, really good work.
Oh, thanks, man.
Channel moving. Shout out to Barbie Girl Tina. You know what I mean? She's the one.
Shout out to Barbie Girl Tina.
Barbie Girl Tina, man.
Yeah.
She's the beast in the garden.
She's a beast, man. She put me on you, and I was very excited to come over here.
Oh, word. No, thank
I
you.
was very excited. You know what I'm saying?
Added too much value.
I was very excited, you know what I'm saying, to hear about you. I said, this brother, I said, damn, I'm saying about you. I said, shit, I want to hear this brother. I think this is the brother I was looking for. So, you know what I'm saying? And then I came and I started watching. I wanted to get a gist of the show. I seeing you and Chef getting it in, chopping it up and stuff like that. So I most definitely appreciate these convos, these builds. It's about all of us coming together just like this, because we are the leaders of our nation. We don't need one person to be the leader of the nation. No, every one of us are all individual leaders, and sometimes leaders let leaders lead so that we can win victories. That's all we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with it. You know what I mean? Anything I can do, I create overlay graphics.
Word.
I'm creating you something. I mean, I'm gonna work with our channels. Help us.
We just started 2 weeks ago, so I need all the help I can give. But I want to say one thing though. We all leaders, but everybody on this panel, we the new wave.
That's it, man.
That's the new wave of black influencers. So right now, when y'all look at us, this is documenting. When y'all look at everybody on this stage right now that's doing this for real, we will be the next 60,000, 600,000.
Yes.
We will be the 6 million subscribers.
Oh, yes.
Y'all getting us now. Y'all catching us down, and y'all gonna see the growth. Watch.
That's a fact. But also what I'm doing is, because I can create all kind of graphics and different things, like with the overlay screens and the background, and we start to tailor up our show and our streams now. You know what I'm saying? Like I did everybody for free, and I'm doing y'all for free the same way. So you know what I'm saying? This is just how we doing it. You know what I mean? People, we showing love. That's it. So you know what I mean? With the overlay screen, with the graphic and all, like how I do on my community. Sometimes these little things make people subscribe to. So it's mad different ways that people coming in. But then with these graphics, you get to create different shows. And now you could be switching in the StreamYard through different shows. You might have something that you want to do a little talk thing on. All right, let me throw this graphic on. You might have a thing where you want to do a teach build on, and you got that. And then the Cash App is on it already. Everything's on it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to promote is on it already. Logos or whatever things is on it. So, you know what I mean? Start getting some visualization, I mean, or what you want to do. And we start creating, man. Let's start building up our channels. Yeah, we will be the next million subscriber people, and I agree with them. So let's go. That's why I built 35 channels. So imagine if I had 35 million subscriber channels.
Wow.
I built 35 now. So I'm we cooking up.
Wow, that's impressive. Wow.
We working.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Queen.
Oh, sorry. Peace, family. It's always a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to see everybody on the panel today. And you can find me at My Speaks. I just started my channel last week, so check me out. And as you know, I'm
everybody that subscribes to me, go to my app, please.
Yeah, you're gonna come like tomorrow. As soon as you come like tomorrow, just figure out what you want to teach. Think something. Let's go. Let's get anything you want, wherever you want to start. You just starting. Let's go. That's it. Just email me, Queen.
I didn't even know you had a channel, girl. You didn't tell me.
Now we do. I gotta. Do I subscribe to you? I'm doing it right now.
I sub to all of y'all already too. So.
Oh, good. I'm doing you right now. My app. What's your channel? Let me do it right now. It's really that easy.
Yes, at My Speaks.
I think do I have you already? Oh, hold on. Let me do one community first.
Yeah, I sub to all of y'all. Gemini, I sub to you too. I sub to all of y'all already. I found you.
What my app?
Yeah, My Speaks.
My tweets. Teach. My teaching or teach?
No, speaks.
Speaks.
I put the link in.
Yeah, she speaks.
All right, thank you.
Peace and blessings, nothing but love. I can't wait to see y'all in the community. Anytime on me back, anytime you're here, man, y'all got my love and support in anything y'all doing. I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate this build. It was I really needed it. And I really appreciate y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. Thank you.
No,
appreciate you too, family. If I knew you was coming through the way you was coming through, I would have put my Dior shades on, man. I was stunting at me in my own crib, man. Come on.
You've been killing me.
Salute to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Nothing but blessings of love to y'all, man. To everybody in the chat, salute to y'all. This channel right now looking like one of the hottest channel right now going up right now. I'm looking like, damn, it's moving. So, man, salute to all of y'all because y'all doing that. Shout out to Marcella. You doing great work in there. Everything, man.
He's the best. He's the best community manager ever.
It's just a great chemistry going on. It's just a synergy going on from the channel to the panel to the chat to the whole thing, man. So salute to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you.
So,
Maya, you finished?
oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm finished.
All right. Gemini thoughts. I know you got
Yeah.
a channel.
So, yeah. Well, yeah, I do have a channel. It's just 8 videos on there. I just got started as well. But my most popular video is Law of Attraction. You attract your unresolved issues. I'm sorry, you date your unresolved issues. My correction. And then I got another video that I uploaded recently. Is that how the feminist movement created Karens? So I got a variety of trains of
Right.
thoughts on my channel. So I'm looking forward to you all taking a peep at it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and listen, Gemini thoughts.
Yes.
You are always welcome back here. Please never hesitate to come on the panel. You are always welcome back here. Flower, please.
Oh,
And if
well,
you want to
thank
do that, Karen, if you want to do that Karen show, you could do it on my page because I got like 8.3 subscribers.
We don't get Chef up. He deserve it. He deserve it probably more than anybody
Yeah,
else.
definitely.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take that. Oh, I guess it's my turn. Eh? So, look, tonight was a dope building session. Tonight was a doper building session, and we didn't even go into the full depths of what I believe made it dope.
The Four Horsemen.
Come on, man, you stealing my thunder right now, yo. Now, man, I'm saying, look, with all of the craziness that's going on since Saturday, you get what I'm saying? And all of the fear, there's a thing I have a stock market portfolio. There's a thing called FUD and FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out, and FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I think the thing that was plaguing our folks that are subscribers to this channel and the folks that love this show was the fear, uncertainty, and doubt of how this thing was going to progress. What people had questions, right? I'm about to fire shots, Farida, Keisha, Jernigan. You get what I'm saying? Because of, and I'm going to call it fear, uncertainty, and doubt based on what they thought was going to take place or a result of this thing or us handling whatever situation. I'm glad that in this situation, especially seeing all 4 of us rocking on the stage today, that you guys glean a certain level of trust from us. We talk about trust. We told y'all, we are not going for anybody. We're not trying to get anybody out. That's not what it's about. But we feel that you guys are part of our garden and we had to handle it in a certain way, and we were not going to proceed as normal until we understood and felt confident that we respected each and every single one of you within our universal garden. At some point, we paid attention to what you guys said. We listened to the feedback. We also thought about everything that took place, the totality of the situation. And then we resolved it. So you see us 4 on the stage. Of course, we have others on the stage as well, but you see us 4 on the stage. You get what I'm saying? That's because we did exactly what the fuck we promised you that we would do in terms of maintaining this garden. The brothers are here. We're sharing. Everything is good. No lives lost. No physicality. None of that other stuff, that pedestrian stuff. We were able to handle the situation and then come back to the table and show you, our populace, that we are strong kings. That's diplomacy. This is the shit that I signed up for. It wasn't about the money. I don't have a bunch of videos. I think I got 4 or 5. You get what I'm saying? But I know that what I'm bringing to this thing and what I see coming from this thing, this made me feel extremely proud. Extremely proud. And I appreciate the garden for allowing me the wisdom to be able to see certain things, because I felt a certain way too. I don't share with y'all. So I thank all of you within the garden to share your feedback, as well as the kings that we have on this stage, for us to build that diplomacy and make this thing pop. And you have no idea, we ain't finished with you yet. We're not finished with you yet. Come with it. Conversation with Kings.
I salute that. I second that. That's all I gotta say.
Man, yo, go and subscribe to Darrel. He's almost home. He's almost home. Go and subscribe to this thing. Get him home. Let's get him home, man. Let's push him home first, man. Let's push us home. Let's push all of us home. He's almost home. Let's get him to the monetized, the land of monetization. Let's get him there. He's almost home. Go on his page and subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's get them home. That's it.
Oh, yo, I'm about to go get me some food, man. Chef Chupino, CHEFCHOUPINO. You might consider it a struggle stream because I'm gonna be on the smartphone, but it's okay. I'm about to go get me some food, and I'd love for you guys to join. Peace.
Yeah, peace.
See you later, my guy.